All right. Hello, everybody. How are we on this fine Monday evening? I hope everyone's doing well. Hope everybody had a good start to their week. I know how Mondays can be, but I'm glad to be here. I'm excited to get cracking down on this case. Very excited. Very excited indeed. I still don't know who did it, but we're gonna hopefully figure it out. I'm doing well, though. I'm doing well. I had my first day of work at a new job today, so that was exciting. We did a lot of training stuff, you know, like watch the PowerPoints and these are the safety protocols. This is what to do if the place burns down. But it was good. It was good. My coworkers seem nice, so. But small talk out of the way. We got a number of things to talk about, so we're gonna go ahead and move right on over to the tier list, first order of business, as a little refresher for everybody. This is where everybody's sitting at. Mikado still at number 1. And then my Yuri, my beloved Yuri. And then mostly everybody else is sitting pretty comfortably in B. Good amount in C as well. And then just Yuri in D, unfortunately. And then Ray at the unranked, because you know, she came, she slayed, and she was slain. But we still have to keep her on there for the memes, if nothing else. Alright, so that's that. And then we're gonna go into the game, but we're not gonna start the trial right away, because I have to do all of my post-investigation ramblings. So while I get that up and going. Here's a question for the chat while I get this pulled up. At work today, we have like a coffee maker thing, right? It's really cool. It's really high tech. I'm not much of a coffee drinker personally because I can't get over the taste. But one of my favorite drinks is hot chocolate. So I put like an energy shot of caffeine into a hot chocolate. Is there a word for that? Is that like a common coffee thing that has a word that I just wasn't aware of because I'm not a coffee connoisseur? Or is that just some weird thing that I don't want to say I made up because people have definitely done that, but that I concocted. But you couldn't go to a coffee place and be like, oh, can I get a blah blah blah? And they'd know what that means. You know what I mean? Like a frappuccino or an Americano type thing. So I'm wondering if anyone in chat is a coffee connoisseur that could tell me this information. Because I'm not sure, honestly. But anyway, let's go ahead and get the game going. We have one of my top suspects on the screen. Maybe this is a sign. We'll load it up. Alright. So, we're at the trial grounds, as usual. Let's go, actually, I want to open the handbook again. Look at my bullets. Victim is Kokoro Mitsume. Estimated time of death is unknown. The body was found in the room. Both the victim's hands were severed. I still don't know why they took the feet. I could think of, like, maybe a couple out there reasons for the hands. But, like... she was dead before they took the hands and feet, allegedly, given how, like, you know, cut and dry the things were. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't have a sense on last case, I had such a good sense on what the culprit did, how they did it, and who it was. Like, I was pretty confident in all of that, and I was right. This case, so much less so. So much less so than before. Let's see. Setsuka. What was the liquid nitrogen for? Bag of dry ice. E-handbook. The battery saver has to be important. They wouldn't put that detail on there if it wasn't. But I don't know what the fridge means. This stupid dime. We're just moving past that for now. I'll come back to it, but I'm gonna sit on that last. Yuki told me to visit Kokoro. Yeah, then Kokoro didn't. I assume Kokoro was sleeping. Yeah, this is establishing a time frame. I still don't know what he meant by this. In terms of the culprits, like, slipping up and saying something. I assume that he's, like, pulling a Celeste, like, we're going to die just like those guys did, you know, type deal. 4th floor of the balcony. Shinji. Was someone doing laundry at that time? I doubt it. Everything was in stock. The wig has to be important, too. But I don't know what this white debris is. That's not specific enough. I don't know. But this stinking dying message. F 8 icicles. I don't know. That's gotta 8 people, 8 letters, like 8. What is this? What is the significance of 8? No one tell me. I'm just speaking out loud, obviously, but 8 little icicles, all of different lengths. F and O on all of them, except for the icicle that got stabbed, which has an F and an I on it. Is it like people's names? Sora, no. Is there a way to tab through this? No? Okay. No, stop. Kanade... F and O. Biki, he's dead. Whoa, whoopsie. Shinji Kasai. I keep pressing the wrong buttons. Oh, I should equip my skills. I can do that. I can do that on the pre-trial screen. Teruya, Tori. I don't think it's Teruya at all in the first place. I'm so suspicious of Nikkei, though. Kokoro was dead. I don't know why I was even looking at her. Emma, Magarobi. No. I'm trying to think. Kokoro had an O and an I. So, like... I'm trying to think, is it like her... It's not her initials, but her name has an O and an I in it. I don't know if that means anything. Psychologist? No, but... I'm so... Okay. 8. If we go 8 letters into Kokoro's name. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... That's an I. Okay. I'm going like full conspiracy nut right now. So the I stabbed in the O. There's an O there, there's an O there, and there's an O there. Does anyone have an O and F in their name? No. No. Oops. Just O's. No, stop. Oh, he's dead. Why am I even... No. 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 Does anyone even have an F in their name in the first place? I don't think anyone has the letter F in their entire name, if we're being straight. Yeah, I don't think anyone in this cast has an F in their name, unless I'm being silly. So it can't be names. Ugh, my god. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. Maybe it'll come to me during the trial, but I don't know. So I gotta lock in suspects, and if memory serves, I said last time I was going between Iroha, Setsuka, and Nikkei. And I gotta pick two. I don't think it's Setsuka. Because, like... the way... First of all, I think out of these three, the way she's been characterized, she's the least likely to do it. And usually, this isn't like a hard rule, but this is the only kind of thing I even have to put her different from the other two, is she gave us a testimony that, like, was not, like, an alibi, but, like, a piece of... helping us decipher a piece of evidence. Usually the killers wouldn't do that. Obviously, you have your Mekon situations, but... that being the only evidence that I have, I kind of gotta go with that, I feel. So I'm gonna say Iroha and Nikkei. I'm not feeling super confident about that, if we're being honest, but I have nothing to go on here. At least in terms of what I figured out. So, alright, I guess we can go on in. Ready as I'll ever be. Here goes nothing. Just like last time, the elevator made an unnerving sound and slowly but surely made its way to the underground. Everyone stayed deadly quiet, as if we'd silently agreed to. It was like there was now an unspoken rule that the elevator was a place to silently ready your hearts. The elevator descends relentlessly as we ponder these thoughts, until it finally stops, and the doors open.
Hello there.
You've arrived. I've been waiting. Hey, why does this place look different to last time? It'd be boring if it was the same as always, eh? So, for your amusement, I changed up the design.
What the hell?
Amusement? Just how in the world is any of this amusing?
Very well.
Well then, please take your place where your name is written.
I wish you luck.
You've done this once, so you all know how it goes, right? I love trials in SDRA too, because they're dubbed, which means I don't have to read every line. I know that after this trial there's no more dubbing, but, you know, it's nice while it's here. Now, let's begin. A death game with your lives on the line. The second-class trial. Oh, I see. There's the problem. To say that we'd be calmer after doing this once before would definitely be a lie. There we go. As Monocro said, it's our lives on the line. I'm afraid and nervous. Heck, we all are. Yeah, I'm sure. There we go. But... Kokoro must have been much more afraid. It must have been scary and painful. Though it hurt to lose Yuri, Kokoro was much closer to us personally. Everyone, not just Emma, is enraged. And if we don't find the culprit, we all die. We have to find who did it. To avenge Kokoro's death. To survive. Time won't wait for us, and it's finally starting. A trial of life and death. A trial of truth and lies. A trial of trust and betrayal. Ping, 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 ping. A trial of fact and fiction. A trial of pleas and excuses. A trial of friends and foes. A trial like no other. The class trial. Yes, please. I would also like to equip my skills. I only have the one. I have so many skill points. Oh no, I have a couple more. Recover 1 influence, that would be great. Wait, is that oh, that's unequipping it. Wait. Yeah, oops, yeah, maybe don't unequip your skills. Heck yes, give me that. Thanks, Teruya. Okay. Oh, it takes 20 skill points to equip Hand of Midas. Jeepers. Alright. You ready, everybody? Here we go.
Firstly, allow me to briefly explain the rules of this class trial. The results of the class trial will be decided solely by your votes. If you manage to correctly identify the blackened, only they will receive punishment. But should you vote incorrectly, everyone except for the blackened will be punished, and they will be able to escape this field trip of mutual killing.
I hoped we'd never end up here again. But we're here now, and there's no turning back. We've got no choice but to solve this case. Together, we'll get through this mess.
Now then, you may begin at your discretion.
So we're looking for the person who killed Kokoro.
Where are we even supposed to start? I'm already totally lost.
If you would all be so kind as to lend me your ears, there is something I must tell you before we begin.
Anything for you, Mikado?
I don't have a clue what happened, honestly.
Me too,
Ignore
Yoruko.
me.
Dang! They're so mean to him.
You've got some nerve talking to us, Mikado.
Is it just me? Or is my existence beginning to receive less and less acknowledgement?
That's not how they're pronouncing it different.
I've said this before, yet it seems I have no choice but to repeat myself.
This is one of my favorite Mikado sprites. Just the, like, exasperated mask.
Although you may ignore me in everyday life, it would be unwise to ignore me during trials. I, for one, did my fair share of investigation, and it would do me no greater joy than to assist you all in the solving of this case.
Gonna have to turn up the game a little bit since there's more voices than normal.
Leave us alone, will you?
No, he has a point. We probably should listen to Mikado.
Are you sure that's okay?
It's not like Mikado can afford to let us lose the class trial, considering all our lives, his included, are on the line. Every testimony is important, even if it's coming from a loser like him or a liar like Shobai.
Dang.
Ah, you're something else, Miss Sora.
But more importantly, he could be the blackened. And even if he's nothing but an ugly, worthless piece of scum who's no better than a rotting piece of inedible garbage, there's the smallest chance he might have found an important piece of evidence.
Dang.
Oh dear, my poor broken heart.
If Sora says so, then I guess it's fine.
Seeing that it's come to this, I present to you all my ultimate piece of evidence which will undoubtedly restore your valued trust in me.
Ultimate piece of evidence? What, did you already solve it?
Well, no, not yet. But
Shut up already! We can't afford to get off track!
Let the man speak.
Yeah. Like Rara said, I guess we shouldn't completely ignore him. But I doubt he'll be of any use, so let's just keep going for now, okay?
At least hear what the man has to say. I don't know. Maybe I'm too Mikado pilled for this, but like, I don't know. At least hear him out. You can ignore him if you want after that, but I feel like getting more information is never a bad thing.
Starting from the top, I think we should go over everything we know so far. That's what Coco would have done.
Yeah. Without Koro, we have nobody to rely on but ourselves. Don't worry, sis. I'm here for you.
Cheer up, you guys. We can do this. For Kokoro.
Alrighty then. So, what we know about the case so far? Let's see.
I made Emma so much more British than I think this voice actor is making her.
I mean, it's easier said than done. I'm not even sure how we're supposed to start.
Why don't we talk about what everyone was doing before we discovered the body?
Just like last time, looks like we're starting by going over what we know so far. I still don't have a clue who the killer is, but with a little cooperation, we should be able to figure that out. Don't worry, I know how to play. Maybe I should have refreshed on the controls, but meh. Alright, monochrome file.
So, we found the dead body right around lunchtime.
This is true.
Sora, Teruya, and I went to Kokoro's room to bring her lunch like always.
This is also true.
But Kokoro didn't answer.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally, we started to get worried.
And that's when I heard you guys and came over, right?
Yeah.
Once you guys told me what was going on, I went and got Monocro to open the door for us.
This is also true.
And when we went in, Kokoro was...
That would mean that Kokoro died around lunchtime.
Correct.
No, that's wrong!
Perfect 100. Great start. Okay, I wish it gave me a confirmation sound when I saved, but I'm just paranoid.
No, Shinji. We can't be sure of that.
Why not?
Just because we found the body during lunchtime doesn't mean Kokoro died around that time. Even the Monocro file says so. The time of death is unknown.
Speaking of which, the Monocro file this time around isn't very helpful, is it?
No, it's not.
Probably because she was frozen. Even professionals have a hard time determining the time of death when it comes to frozen bodies.
This is indeed true.
But if the time of death is unknown, then doesn't that mean that there's still a chance she really did die around lunchtime?
I suppose we can't rule out the possibility, but it's probably pretty low.
Then I guess we should be talking about when Kokoro really died.
We can kind of use the plates, allegedly, to determine that, unless the killer messed with it to throw us off, which is also very much a possibility, especially if Kokoro couldn't have opened her door.
Wait, do we really need to? I thought it was obvious who the killer was.
Nikkei, you're not making yourself any less suspicious.
Wait, what? Nikkei, you already figured it out?
Who is it? Who's the Blackened?
Yoriko Kabuya. Need I say more?
But the fact he's being so suspicious right off the bat kind of makes me circle back to maybe he's a red herring.
Huh?
Wait, I'm sorry, I was so focused on what I was saying, I didn't even listen to what he was saying. Why are we dissing our queen? What'd my fiance do? What did she do?
The culprit.
Why did she get blamed again? Is this gonna be like an every trial thing? Where she just gets she's like the prime suspect in every trial?
Wait, not this again. Why am I always the one getting pinned for this stuff?
My girl didn't even do anything this time.
But aren't you the one who brought Kokoro breakfast? If she was dead by lunchtime, then it sounds to me like that's the only opening for someone to get a stab at her.
She was with Teruya.
What?
He certainly has a point. If she was alive during the breakfast visit, but dead by the time Miss Sora's assemblage stopped by...
Teruya was always there, though, when they were delivering meals.
And obviously, whichever group was the last to check in to deliver breakfast is the most suspicious. And what do you know? That would be none other than Miss Kabuya.
Wait, but I was with Teruya the entire time.
Exactly.
How do you possibly expect me to kill her with someone else there?
Thanks, Queen.
She's right. The whole point of me joining every visit was to make sure nobody'd try and take advantage of Kokoro's vulnerability.
So that'd mean you're in the same boat.
What?
You're implying he served as our accomplice?
Nah, my goat would never.
But there isn't even any benefit to working as an accomplice.
Exactly, by the rules of the killing game.
And we know Teruya isn't a void, so he's got no reason to kill anyone in the first place.
Exactly.
Can we really be so sure about that? Yeah, the chances of him being a void are low.
That's something a void would say.
But it's not like they're zero. Remember, Mikado of all people was the one who brought him here. To be honest, I always thought the whole, yeah, let's just put all our trust in a total stranger thing was ridiculous.
That's insane! I was kidnapped!
We watched his friend die, bruh.
You're one to talk, Nikkei. Constantly accusing others doesn't automatically make you innocent.
True, true.
Fine, then let's turn this around. If it wasn't those two working together, then when is the murder possibly supposed to have taken place? Sure, there isn't any incentive for accomplices, but Monocro didn't outright deny the possibility.
You guys, say something.
Yuko, I know how you feel, but he does have a point.
This is such a stretch, though.
What?
We need to discuss this more, but...
Considering the order of people that visited Kokoro, it makes sense for the people to be suspicious of Teruya and Yoruko. But we need to talk about it more before deciding anything. Yeah, I know how to play. I just did one.
Why are you guys suspecting me again?
Kokoro's handbook,
Considering
Yoruko's
the order,
account.
that
It might be the
requisite was
account.
the only possible window for murder.
I was with her, and she didn't do anything suspicious.
This is true.
Like Nick said, there is a possibility of you two being accomplices.
Miss Mitsume ate her meals up until last night. The body was found this lunch. So if something happened to Miss Mitsume, it would have been during this morning.
Well, no, it could have been
These two
after
also
dinner
don't
last
have alibis
night.
in the first place. As it stands, there are 2 prime suspects.
No, that's wrong!
Another perfect 100, not to toot my own horn, but...
Sorry, Nikkei, but I won't let you badger Yoriko again like this.
Stand up for your fiance, queen.
Sora.
Aww, baby. She's so cute.
Yoriko has an alibi. After the trip with Teria, she went straight to the village to practice cooking.
Yeah. When there was no answer, we left the meal on her doorstep. As soon as that was done, she told me she was gonna continue practicing her cooking at the village.
You got any evidence to back that up?
Well, I did meet a few on the way there. Oh, I saw her. You were cooking some stew, right?
Ooh, some stew.
There are plenty of witnesses, Nikkei. If what Yoriko says is true, then there would have been no time for murder.
Alright, then we can excuse Yoriko. But what about Teruya? He entered Kokoro's room every visit. There could have been plenty of chances for him to kill her.
Kokoro said she'd only open the door when 2 or more people came to visit her. Thus, under normal circumstances, if anyone entered Kokoro's room to kill her, then we're dealing with more than one culprit.
But I presume this is not going to be normal circumstances.
Now that Yoriko's alibi has been confirmed, it would have been impossible for Teria to kill Kokoro on his own.
I'm wondering if, like... Is there anyone Kokoro would have let in, even without 2 people being there? The only person I can think of that would make any sense would be, like, either Shobai or Emma. But I can't see either of them doing it. Like, I don't think it's Shobai, because, like, his whole, the killer slipped up in front of me thing. And he just doesn't seem like the kind of character to be a Chapter 2 killer. And I just cannot think of a reason Emma would do it either. But I don't know, I'm just speculating. They probably found another way in. Maybe. I don't know.
Thus, the theory of Yoriko and Teria being accomplices is disproven.
Your argument is full of gaps.
Oh no! Nikkei, you
That
can't
alone
have a
isn't going to
rebuttal
suffice as a
showdown.
valid alibi.
You know that's a death flag.
The evidence in Kokoro's room supports that. Sorry, but as a journalist, it's my job's instinct to pursue every last detail of what I find suspicious.
Who had the argument last chapter? I'm trying to remember who we did like the rebuttal showdown against last chapter. If the curse is still in effect.
Allow me to present you with this evidence. Let's see if you can retaliate against the ultimate journalist's latest scoop.
I don't think it's Nikkei anymore though. Like he's pushing so hard against us to the point where like I think we're supposed to find him suspicious, which means it's probably not him. But I already made my bet. I kind of got a lie in it. Yoruko and Shinji? Okay. Then maybe, I don't know, maybe there's no curse this last game, because I think there was last game.
So, after delivering breakfast, Yoriko went to the village. That much I can understand, but she could have easily killed her then and there before fleeing soon after. She visited Kokoro with Teruya with the intent to kill her. Then she split so that she'd have a witness for her alibi.
Ugh, I can't.
You saw the state of the body, didn't you? It was frozen solid. Could Yoriko have done such a feat in such a short span of time?
I don't even.
It'd be impossible for Yoriko to do that and immediately leave for the village.
Or it could be the balcony.
Nope. There's a way that she could have frozen Kokoro instantly. The room says it all. She used liquid nitrogen.
Shit,
she
fuck.
Kokoro, then
That was
poured
it.
liquid nitrogen over her. Her body would freeze instantly. And there you have it. Our crime scene.
Oh, shit, no, Yeah, okay, I know what it is. This minigame's hard from a reflex perspective because I can't, it takes, there's a little bit of input delay.
Before fleeing soon after, she visited Kokoro with Teruya with the intent to kill her. Then she split so that she'd have a witness for her alibi.
I can't,
You saw the state of the body, didn't you? It was frozen solid. Could Yoriko have done such a feat in such a short span of time? It'd be impossible for Yoriko to do that and immediately leave for the village.
Nope. There's a way that she could have frozen Kokoro instantly. Her room says it all. She used
I'll pierce
There we go.
through those words.
Alright, we got there. Really? No damage penalty? I felt like I took a lot. Not that I'm complaining, but...
No, that doesn't add up. There's no way Yoriko used liquid nitrogen to freeze Kokoro.
What are you talking about? We all saw an empty container of it in her room, plain as day.
If she really used that to freeze Kokoro, then there should have been traces left behind in the room. But other than her corpse, we didn't find a single trace of anything else being frozen. Right, Setsuka?
Yup. No traces mean that the liquid nitrogen was probably never used.
Maybe she could have frozen Koro in some other room before bringing her back in?
That had taken a significant amount of time. Nikkei's proposition was that the crime could have been done within a short amount of time. If Yoriko, our supposed murderer, had taken time moving the body like that, then it would be impossible to arrive at the village as early as she did.
So Yoriko and Teruya are innocent? That's what I've been saying since the start.
Not that I ever suspected them in the first place.
I
but-
know that from an opportunity standpoint, we're suspicious. But don't you think you're being a bit cruel, Nikkei?
Is it
What's with
Nikkei
that
or
attitude,
Nikkei?
You owe these two an apology.
Now, fighting
could be
won't get
saying
us
it
anywhere.
wrong.
Since Bravo's cleared up our suspicion on Terry and Yuko, let's get back to the case.
If not for freezing, then what was the liquid nitrogen for? After all, since we found the container in her room, we can easily assume it must have been used for something, correct?
No, that's probably a red herring.
Okay, Kanade. I mean, Kanade hasn't really been wrong so far, so as kind of suspicious as I find her, I do trust her input on most of the things she says in trials.
A red herring? But the label on the drum clearly said liquid nitrogen on it.
Right. The label, but nothing else.
So they, what, swapped labels with an empty barrel?
I'm saying that they probably just stuck that label onto an empty container. Look at it closer. It's slanted, slightly, as if hastily slapped on. I'm willing to bet there was never any liquid nitrogen inside that container at all.
Okay, I'm not sure how I was supposed to figure that out, but I'll walk with you to this pier, other than the fact it was completely empty, but...
Wait, then how did Kokoro get frozen? It must be the Yukiona's curse after all.
Iroha...
There's no other way that a person would suddenly freeze.
Is Iroha... You always gotta have those few characters in a trial that just have no idea what's... The Yasuhiros of the group. Of course it's not because of the curse, but... Still, to freeze someone so thoroughly. Did they, like, shove her in the refrigerator or something? Wait. Wait. Okay, maybe I'm cooking. Hold on. Did they literally fridge her? Like, they took the dividers out. Okay, wait. I'm figuring it out. They took the dividers out of the fridge in order to shove her in there, right? I was gonna say maybe that's why they cut off her hands and feet so they could fit her in there, but they said they cut her hands and feet off after she was frozen, so that might not be the case. But because the fridge can deep freeze things, right? They said that when we were talking about the fridge. So if they put her in the fridge and they set it to deep freeze, they took the dividers out, put her in there, set it to deep freeze. As Kokoro was dying, that's when she made the dying message, and that's why the dying message was in the fridge, because that also bothered me. I'm like, why was it in the fridge? So she died in the fridge from the deep freezing. The culprit locked her in there using they either just held her in there, I don't know. They found a way to lock her in there. And then Kokoro died with the dying message. The culprit took Kokoro out, put her on the bed, for reasons I have not yet determined, cut off her hands and feet, put the dividers back in. That's why they're like hastily shoved in there. Didn't see the dying message, and then did whatever with the rest of the stuff. But I kind of, okay, I kind of think that's how it happened. That's my current theory. I feel pretty confident in that, actually. A good amount of things line up with that, if that's what happened. Still doesn't point me to who did it at all, but it's something. Anyway. There must have been a tool inside a room to help freeze things, and that'd be the refrigerator, yeah. Oh, no, I know how to play. Okay. I didn't mean to click that, but alright. Is it gonna be fridge or refrigerator? Yeah, okay. Oh, golly. Okay. E. I know a few letters. Oh, it's only one. Oh, okay. I thought I was gonna... Wait, what the hell? Oops, I didn't... Shit. I... Nope, that's each. Where was the... I've already forgotten where I was. Is there a way to flip them over? Is there a way to check? Damn it. Okay. Do I have to remember? There's no way they're gonna make me memorize that many letters, right? Like, at once. Maybe I should have read the instructions. Hold on. Can I use, like, my influence gauge or something? Maybe I should have read the directions. I don't think so. Am I really gonna have to memorize? Oh, no. Okay.
Crap.
It's okay. I can lock in. I have a good memory. I think. AETEI. Fogio. YT give a fuck. ATEEI. Fogio. AT. Okay. F. Fogio. AT. Shit. Yeah, okay. G. Fogio, okay. A. T. Fogio, H. Fuck, was this the T? Okay. Okay. What? Out of time? I was so close! I had one letter! Are you shitting me? Oh, if you run out of time, they flip them over again? Okay, well that's good to know, so I should just wait out the timer instead of randomly guessing. Anyway, Fogio. And then, shit, I wasn't paying that much attention. Should be that one? No. Wait, what? Oh, Fogio, it's at the end here. Yeah, okay.
I see.
Took me a second. Okay, we did it. Okay, so I can just wait out the timer if I need to see him again. All right. Anyway, let's save now and resume.
It's probably the refrigerator.
The refrigerator? The culprit froze Kokoro with the refrigerator?
It's not as impressive if I figure it out like 30 seconds before the game has me figure it out, but still.
Well, excluding the liquid nitrogen, it's the only thing left capable of freezing someone.
Is there any proof that the refrigerator was used?
The dividers, probably. Or the message, but I think the dividers is a better bet.
Got it.
Yeah.
I noticed the refrigerator divider in Kokoro's room was a bit loose. Perhaps it's because the culprit had taken the divider out to fit Kokoro in.
Miss Mitsume is quite small, so if they squeezed her right in, I'm sure that she'd fit rather nicely.
Squeeze in? Watch your words. There's also the fact that her refrigerator was set to instant freeze mode. For those of you who've used that setting, I'm sure you can agree it's definitely powerful enough to freeze a human being.
Wait, even if the output was set to instant freeze, there's a big difference between freezing some leftovers and freezing a whole human being. We're not talking about mild frostbite here. The monochrome file
did
says
say
that
it
she was
could deep
frozen
freeze.
to the point where all her cells suffered from necrosis. If she was frozen that badly, that means the culprit must have left her in for at least a whole day.
Huh? Wait, that means Coco would have been in there since yesterday's lunchtime.
Yuki, when you were there with me and Tsuruya delivering Kokoro her meal, there was no answer, right?
Yeah, but Yoriko said that the dinner was gone that night.
Yeah, I think the culprit snuck it to try and confuse us.
That doesn't make sense. Maybe Ruko is lying?
The culprit could have just taken it.
Why would I lie
Yeah.
about something like that?
If your refrigerator theory is correct, that means Kokoro should have been inside the refrigerator last supper.
Well, it would have been her last supper, am I right, guys?
I swear, if Yoriko really is the culprit...
Wait,
She got
hold your horses.
fridged.
Yoriko never visited Kokoro yesterday, so she wouldn't have had the chance to enter her room.
Then who delivered breakfast yesterday?
Me, Roha, and Teria.
And you met up with Kokoro?
Yup. We had a really nice chat with her. Kokoro even wrote on her iPad. Those were the days.
That means she was alive up until that point, at least.
Who was there for lunch?
Me, Kanade, Gigi, and Ruru.
You, Kanade, and Ruru. The way I'm trying to remember what their freaking nicknames are. Who's Gigi?
And did you guys meet Kokoro?
Of course. She
Oh,
complained
Shinji.
about 4 people being too many.
Wait, this is
And
getting a bit too
who's Ruru
complicated.
then?
Can somebody summarize it?
Roha, can you give me a piece of paper from your sketchbook?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Oh, Teruya. I'm so stupid. Okay, thank you. This is probably important. Okay. Last group to see Kokoro. Found out about Kokoro's disease, started a routine visit. Unable to meet with Kokoro starting here. Dinner plate was taken. Still couldn't meet Kokoro, bodies. Okay, so it's gotta be... Dinner. I guess you wouldn't have had to be in any of these groups to take the plate out, because it was just sitting outside the door. So I don't know if this really incriminates anybody in particular. Oddly enough, Nikkei did not bring... I'm looking at my top suspects. Iroha, Nikkei, both did not bring anything since Kokoro was seen alive. But I don't know. I don't know if this tells me anything. At least right now.
If we summarize what we've discussed so far, this is our result.
I love the little drawings they do.
Your drawing's adorable. Oh, and you drew such a good summary too.
I hereby dub you the Taking Notes Master. Or would it be Mistress? Miss Chiabukuro, which do you prefer?
I'd prefer it if you stopped focusing on the drawings and instead focused on the timeline of events.
Looking at this, we can confirm Kokoro hasn't answered her door since yesterday evening. That means something definitely happened between those two visits.
Does that mean the visitors right before then? Shinji, Teruya, and the twins are all one big culprit?
Doubtful.
What? Why are we the culprits? And how would that even work?
I doubt that 4 people were accomplices, especially when the chances of there being even one accomplice are close to 0.
But according to Yuki, that gap between lunch and dinner was the only period of time she could have been killed in.
Wait, that's impossible. Haven't we already discussed that the only time we could have entered her room was to deliver meals? That was a rule she personally set.
And I definitely saw her dinner had disappeared. So she couldn't have been dead by then, right?
But if Coco was still alive last night, there wouldn't have been enough time to freeze her.
I have no idea what we're talking about anymore.
According to this theory, none of us could have killed Kokoro. To even get close to her, they obviously needed to first enter her room, and if it wasn't during our visits...
The only thing I can think of is she went against what she said and let somebody in.
I think the refrigerator is the root of this problem. Determining how one would have access to it is what's brought us to a dead end.
No, it must be the refrigerator. Considering the liquid nitrogen was just a red herring, it becomes the only tool capable of freezing Kokoro. There is no alternative.
But if we could have only entered her room during lunchtime, then...
Damn, this really is a locked room mystery.
This is hard. Can I use a hint coin?
Based Layton reference, Mikado? Based!
I still don't know what we just discussed.
I got it! It's Yukiona!
Iroha, please don't derail the trial. Why are we getting on Mikado's ass for, like, possibly throwing us off course when this girl is allowed to talk freely? I don't hate Iroha, by the way, but, like...
Monochrome, we need to stop the trial right now before it's too late! This isn't a murder, it's a curse!
End the class trial, you say? I don't mind at all, but I assume that means you've given up on finding the culprit?
Well, that's not... I mean, does a culprit exist in the first place? It seems like it's impossible for everyone, so...
Maybe Iroha can't be the culprit. I don't know if she's smart enough. I'm sorry, that's so mean. That's so mean. It could be an act, but...
We just need a small push in the right direction.
Guess I gotta help you out.
Oh, okay. We have an
The
ally.
culprit exists.
Well,
This
obviously.
is a case where if you think about the method first, it's more difficult. So, let's put the method aside for now and focus on the culprit's identity first.
Kanade, I have 0 clues about the identity.
The evidence pointing towards the culprit. You already know, Sora.
Do I?
I know you have what it takes to solve
Is it the
this.
dying message
And
that I
don't
couldn't
worry,
decode?
I'll help you out.
No, I know how to do it. I think.
The murder method is still a mystery. But there was a clue pointing towards the culprit at the
How
crime
am I-
scene.
Oh, that
Kokoro's
was-
final moments.
Yeah, the dying message.
The final clue that Kokoro left with her dying breaths. That clue clearly points out the real culprit.
I don't know
You
how.
remember now, right, Sora?
Oh yeah, but like...
I agree with that.
I just could not decode it. I'm sorry. I tried, guys. I couldn't do it.
dying message. The dying message that Kokoro had left. If we decipher that, we can figure out who the culprit is.
I don't know what it is.
Well done, Sora.
I really tried. I just couldn't do it.
The dying what now?
The dying message. You usually see victims leave them behind right before they die, hinting towards their killer's identity. But Rara, you're saying Coco left one herself?
Yes, the icicles inside the refrigerator.
Alright, I'm gonna give it one more crack before they tell me the answer. Okay. 8 little icicles. There's O's, F's, and I's, but what if they're not letters? What if they're like, I think I was kind of cooking with what if they're numbers, but, because like that would be 0, 1, I don't know what letter in F, or what number in F would be. Like a weird 7, if you did the little slash through the middle. But then was, what does 11037? The only one that has an O and an I. Psychologist? No. Does any of their talents have like an O and an F in it? What is it? It's like reporter, firefighter, lucky student, merchant. Hostess, guitarist, vocalist. The letter F is throwing me off because no matter what I find, I cannot think of anything with an F in it. None of their names have F's. Astronaut. Astronaut's dead. I don't know why I even said that. Billiards player, no. Artist, no. I don't think any of their talents even have F in it. F's not a blood type. It could be like female, but what's O then? I know gender is a spectrum, but last I checked, O is not a gender. I don't. If it is numbers, 0, 1, 0. There's 8 ones. Or there's only 1 1. 1 1 0 3 7. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. I give up.
They look like normal icicles, but if you look closely, there are letters written on each one. It looks like someone carved them with their nails, presumably Kokoro's.
What? F O?
F-O. Maybe it's like... I don't know.
Look,
A 3? Like the F is like the start of a 3? I don't know.
So the icicles killed Kokoro? I don't...
Aren't dying messages supposed to be something obvious? This feels more like some secret code or something. It's actually rather simple. I've already figured out the culprit by using this.
Kanade, stop taunting me!
What? Kanade, you know who the culprit is?
Who is it?
Instead of outright telling you, let me explain through this dying message.
But we don't know what it means.
Miss Kanade, we are inclined to hear your explanation.
Of course. Once you learn the identity of the killer, the method should come naturally. Now, while these initially look like a random series of icicles, the important thing to note is that there are exactly 8 of them.
Yes, I said that. What does that mean? Is that the number of letters? But, like, that doesn't help us, does it? I'm trying to think. 8 letters. But, like, F and O, is it, like, vowels and consonants? But because, like, F is a consonant. O is a vowel. But there was exactly half and half. I need a piece of paper. Hold on. I'm going conspiracy level here. So, okay. We had 8 icicles. 7 of them had O's and F's. So, there's 7 O's, 7 F's. No, there's 8 O's, 7 F's, and 1 I. If we're going vowels and consonants, then 16 is too much. Unless that's the whole name. Does anyone... Okay. Does anyone have 8 letters in their name? I need a cast list. Yoruko. No, Y-O-R. No, that's 6. Wait. Yeah, that's 6. There's 8 F's. Okay, I'm sorry. I had it backwards. 8 F's. 7 O's and 1 I. You're right. Can I see the list of names?
Furthermore,
Oops.
the letters F and O have been carved into each end of them.
Yep, Oh, that's too many. I need, like, a list of their names. Mitsume is 7. Hashimoto. No, that's 10. That's 9. Me when I can't count. Yeah. I don't know if anyone even has 8 letters in their name. I mean... I guess Emma does. But... that's the only one that unless I can't count, which is also very possible. But I still don't know what the F and the O means, so whatever. Just keep going.
6 of them stand separately. But like Nikkei pointed out, one has penetrated another, conjoining the two.
So what, that's supposed to mean 7? Is that what you're telling me?
And that specific icicle is different from the others.
I feel like I've gotten further off track.
It has the letter I carved into it. Okay. So... F stands for female.
Okay. What's O?
There are 8 icicles and 8 of us.
Okay. This is true. But, like... what's the difference between I and O? Do you all have O's in your last names, except for... Setsuko... Iroha... Twins... I guess everybody has O's in their names, I think, unless I'm once again tripping. Either their first or last.
O stands for others.
O stands for others? Okay, I would have never in a million years gotten that.
Ah, so I literally stands for I, as in myself?
Okay, okay, but like...
Yep. I guess you aren't as stupid as you look, Yuki.
I don't know what this means. 'Cause...
with the rest all having O on them, One of the remaining 7 can be seen penetrating eye.
All that means is the killer is a girl. I don't know how that narrows down.
Considering that it was Kokoro who made this, I will represent herself.
Because the one stabbing her is the exact same as all the others, it just doesn't have an F. But I've already established nobody's name has an F in it.
Meaning
An
you
F
can
already
interpret
means
this
female.
message to mean, one of the 7 girls killed me.
Whoa, so the culprit is a female?
I probably would have come to that conclusion with just the letter F being anywhere.
Alright, so we know their gender. So what? This alone doesn't pinpoint the culprit at all. It just...
Well, if you'd let me finish, Nikkei, I was about to say we can take one step further to deduce the killer's identity as well.
I have no idea how they're gonna do that, but okay.
What do you mean?
Look carefully at the icicles. It's easy to overlook, but the O icicle that penetrated the I icicle is significantly longer than the other ones.
So it's just the tallest girl? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Uh-oh. But didn't we just deduce that these icicles were us girls? If one's taller than the rest, wouldn't it make sense for their length to be analogous to our heights?
Sure. I mean, I did bring that up earlier. Not earlier today, but last time. But I did not go with it because I just didn't think that was it.
I don't even know what that word means.
One moment, Miss Kanade. Are you proposing that the tallest female present is our killer?
This is an insane way to go about things. I don't know everyone's heights off the top of my head. It's probably sets. I don't know. Who's the tallest? Am I just supposed to look this out? Okay. Sora. Emma's decently tall. Yoruko is short. These guys are shorties. How tall is Setsuka? Okay, it's either Setsuka or Emma. Can I have a basis of comparison, please? It's probably Emma, right? If we use the top, but I don't know, the top of the screen. Does the top of the screen move? Yeah, it does a little bit. It's either Emma or Setsuka. It looks like Emma, though, just kind of visualizing it out. Setsuka's about as tall as... a little bit shorter than the window. And Emma, if we use Yuki's window, is a little bit taller than it, so it's gotta be Emma.
It can only be you.
Really, though?
The tallest out of the female students. That's Emma Magarobi. Are you the killer?
I don't know. It's never the first person you accuse. Surely.
What?
I don't know. I'm not totally sold on this. I could just be... Oh, we're at intermission? Okay, then maybe it is. Because usually they do intermission right after you accuse the right person. Well, no, not always. Not always. I don't know. I don't know if I buy this. I've only been streaming for like an hour and a half, and I didn't even start the game until a little ways in. This feels quick. I don't know. Maybe I'm coping. But something doesn't quite feel right to me about this. I'm not brushing it off completely, but I'm not also completely sold either. But we will see. I suppose, though, this is a decent time to break, since I usually break at the trial intermission. So y'all know what to do. Go to the bathroom, get a drink, grab a snack, do whatever you gotta do, and we'll be back to it in just a few minutes. Okay, we're back. I've thought about it a little bit now that we're here. Okay. So, Emma, right? There's two ways I can see this going. Either Emma isn't the culprit, and it's gonna go into like, why are you accusing me? Kokoro was my friend. It's gonna be like a breakdown, and we're gonna have to like believe in her and use the evidence to point to the real culprit type thing. I'm trying to think if there was a canon DR example of this. I'm thinking of Despair Time, chapter 2, as a comparison to a direction they might go. Or it is Emma, and I have no idea what the motive would be. I guess maybe if she was either faking or part of Void the whole time to be friends with Kokoro, to like get rid of her because they knew she was a threat to Void. If Emma's a part of Void, it makes a good amount of sense because like they know Kokoro's a threat to the Voids. Have Emma get close to Kokoro so she could murder her. And it goes back to what I think I said like as a one-off comment at the start of the trial where maybe Kokoro would have let Emma in without anybody if Emma had a good enough reason. So I see ways it could be Emma as well. But we'll see. My one defense of myself for being, if it is Emma, then I was completely off base, and I'll admit that. But my one defense of myself in that regard is, so far at least, the only piece of evidence that pointed to the killer's identity was the dying message, which is extremely convoluted for what the dying message is. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I'm not saying I get why Kokoro made it convoluted, because otherwise Emma would have probably just destroyed it, or whoever the killer was. But if that was the only way to figure out the culprit's identity, I'm not gonna be too hard on myself for not figuring it out, because it's not like a 11037 situation where it was like super obvious and everyone else looks like dummies. So that's my one little defense of myself in this case. But I admit, if it is Emma, I was way off. I was close, but not quite there. But anyway, am I gonna do chapter 3? I'm not gonna wait, no. As far as I'm aware, at least, they're still not really super close to voice acting more chapters. I know they're still working on it, but there's no like predicted release date for any more content, and I'm not gonna do a chapter every several months or a year just to wait for the voice acting. So I'm gonna go until we have no more voice acting, and then I'm just gonna keep going past it, and I'll do the voices again like I did for every other visual novel that doesn't have voice acting. So that's the plan going forward as well. But anyway, I know I'm so upset with the dying message because I brought up each element of it at some point. I just never locked into them as my answer. You know what I mean? Like, I never put those two specific things together and came to that conclusion, if that makes sense. But anyway, that's enough. That's enough of me coping. Let's return.
Emma, the person that the dying message is referring to, it has to be you.
What?
Emma's the culprit? Huh? Sora, have you forgotten who Emma is? Why would she, of all people, kill Kokoro?
I don't know exactly. I just solved the dying message just like Kanade told me to.
I hate to break this to you, Sora. You're in the same boat as me. I don't think you solved anything.
If the tallest person out of the girls is the culprit, then that would be Emma, right?
Yeah, but still.
Sora, how could you?
Is her whole thing gonna be like, but she's an actor, she was acting, and this is all acting?
Losing Kokoro was painful enough. Yet I'm desperately trying to find our killer. And you have the nerve to say I killed her? That's crossing the line. If this is some sick and twisted joke, let me make it clear to you that I'm not laughing.
Rara, even if the dying message coincides with M's height, don't you think this is a bit... I mean, it was no secret M regarded Coco as her best friend. You saw how upset she was when we found her body.
She's an actress, is that the point we're gonna make?
Yeah. Sorry, Sora, but I can't get behind that. This feels more coincidental than incriminating.
Maybe our interpretation of the dying message was just wrong?
Seriously? Are you all really that stupid?
Whoa! Dial down the aggression a bit, huh?
My interpretation is 100% accurate. Didn't I just say that once we determine the culprit's identity, the rest falls into place? Trust me, if you assume Emma's the killer, this case becomes much simpler.
Kanade, I know you think you're helping, but I assure you
Yeah, come on, Kanade. You're being mean to Emmy. There's no way that Emmy would ever...
Sister? How about shutting the hell up while I'm talking?
Oop. That's a little... Okay.
If you don't plan on being useful, be a good sister and stay out the way, okay?
She snapped.
Kanade?
Gagged.
It seems to me that Miss Kanade has already solved the case.
Wait, but Shobai also said, like, the killer slipped up and said something they shouldn't have. I don't remember... To be fair, I don't have that entire exchange memorized, but I don't remember what Emma said that was incriminating. It probably just slipped under my radar, though.
I don't know. Are we sure about that? Looks to me like Miss Little Sis is getting a bit deluded.
Oh, she's really snapping.
Oh, you poor naive chump.
Kanade? What's wrong?
Oh, Sora.
Yes?
You alone believed my reasoning, right? Since these gaggle of imbeciles can't tell the difference between their asses from their elbows, why don't you try figuring out how Emma did all this? If you're lost, I can give you a hint. Emma's talent.
Yeah,
Ultimate
okay, I said
talent
that a
is the key
couple
to this.
minutes ago. She's an actress. Oh no, what's a logic craft? Is this new? Oh yeah, I haven't done this yet. Oh no, is it a platformer? Oh, it's like Logic Dive, except it's a they can't really do 3D, so they made it a platformer. Oh no, your spaceship will move up. Oh, okay, it's not a platformer, it's like not a shmup, but there's a name for this genre, I think. Move upward. Okay, so I have to press Z to go up and down. It's like Flappy Bird. That's what I'm thinking. It's like Flappy Bird. The shield is 5 points. If it's damaged beyond that, there will be a penalty to your score as well as a decrement. Okay. Do I need to, like, go through... Okay, don't touch red. Cool. Cyan. Okay, don't touch... Okay, and you just gotta go through the right choice. Okay. Freely move from using the arrow keys. Okay. Okay. Oh, I'm pressing Z! Let me up, let me up, let me up! Shit. Okay. Oh my god, how fast do you have to... Oh, you have to hold it. I was too Flappy Bird pilled. I was like tapping it. That I forgot the own instructions. Oh, this is hard. Oh no. To be fair, user error at first, but at least the hitboxes seem a little bit generous, because I'm definitely grazing these corners and it doesn't seem to be. Actress, so we're just gonna stay in the spot. I'm locked in. Ooh, okay. I'm not locked in. I'm not locked in. Why is this called Logic Craft? Oh, because it's a spacecraft. I was thinking like Minecraft, and I was like, what are we crafting? No, it's like a spacecraft. I get it, I get it. She acts. I cannot believe they're making me do this as a logic game. I feel like we could just have done this with a single multiple choice, but okay. Up, down, all around. The insta-kill blocks are mean, though, if those start showing up. Oh. Eek. It's okay, we have invincibility frames. Thanks, Laneige. Okay, stay at the top. Eek. It would allow her to act. Wait, what? Disguise? Really? Why would you? I guess, because I'm just thinking about the wig. That's what I'm thinking about. Well, no. Not really. Acting means you can act like another person. It doesn't mean actors don't usually do their own like hair and makeup and stuff. You could probably pick up their mannerisms and like character, but it doesn't really make you master of disguise per se. Unless this is like a lost in translation thing.
Emma's talent. With the talent of ultimate actress, wouldn't it be possible for her to act as someone else?
What do you mean?
Up until now, we'd written up this case as impossible, with no way of entering Kokoto's room and each of us having alibis for that period of time. However, one person did have access, Kokoto herself. But what if the Kokoto we met was in fact not the actual Kokoto?
How long has Miss Girl been dead?
What?
If we're gonna say Emma was and that's what the black wig was for example, then like she would have had to been dead before we even started doing the breakfast thing, right?
What if Emma was disguised as Kokoto? And if the real Kokoto was already dead, then suddenly the murder becomes much more possible.
Wait, what if she killed her back at the freaking concert? Is that what you're telling me? And like, because that's why she couldn't talk, because we recognized the voice, so she just like made all that up. And that's why we was like typing. The problem with that though is Shobai vouched for her, and he was like, I did an examination, she's got this rare disease. Why would he go along with that unless he was just being a shitter?
That's...
You mean the Kokoro we've been meeting with all this time was actually Emma?
I like this idea. This is interesting. I'm with you, game. You gotta explain Shobai to me, but I'm with you. Up and other than that, once you explain that, I'm with
Sora,
you, game.
First you besmirch my friendship. Now you wish to besmirch my talent, too.
No, it's not.
What's your deal? Why are you suddenly hell-bent on making me this evil psychopath?
Calm down, Em. I know how you feel, but...
Calm down? I just lost my best friend, and yet Sora thinks it's okay to suggest I was the one who killed her? No, I think I'm entitled to feel a little betrayed. All I want is to let Kokoro rest in peace. And yet...
No, I didn't mean to.
Sora, don't you think you're going a bit too far with this?
Yeah, I honestly can't see Emma killing Kokoro. It just wouldn't make any sense. Let's retrace our steps and go back over what we know. Maybe Kanade made a mistake somewhere.
Me?
Oh.
Made a mistake?
What a disappointment.
I never expected you all to share a single-digit IQ like my sister.
The whole voice switch up
To
too.
think I could easily die if you half-wits vote wrong. Disgusting.
You! How dare!
Strange. I could have sworn I told you to be quiet, Hibiki. Let Kanade do all the work and solve this case. Can you not even understand something as simple as that? Always so useless. Can't do anything yourself. Always relying on me to clean up your shit. You should know your place by now.
Kanade! Why? You're so scary. Okay. Ignoring the nightmare fuel for a second, I also kind of think it's unfair to accuse Emma as a killer just because some icicles in her love of acting.
No, I'll believe Kanade and Sora's reasoning.
Okay, Yuki. We got Yuki on our side.
Oh, me too,
Oh,
me
God.
too! That speech was so moving it lit a fire within my heart.
Thanks, man.
Too much. This is all too much.
Oh, we're gonna have a scrum debate, aren't we? Now that we're splitting down the middle.
Oh ho!
Yeah.
Simmer down, everyone, simmer down. The class trial room is a sacred place where the only permitted battles are ones of wit. Thus, any conflict must be resolved through a formal debate.
I don't want to suspect Emma, but this case cannot be solved unless Kanade's right. First things first, I need to listen to everyone's arguments and find the holes in their logic. Yes, I know how to scrum debate. Me and the gang. Really? Shobai on our side? After you possibly helped the culprit? What a little shitter. Well, if he knew it was Emma the whole time, then yeah, it makes sense that he would be so chill about the trial, though. Yeah.
We were always together, so I had no time to disguise myself.
Kanade!
How can you say always when you weren't with us the whole 24 hours?
If M's the killer, there's no need for something as complex as a disguise.
Kanade!
If you all hear my reasoning, then you'll
There's
understand
totally a
why
reason
she
to have a
had use
disguise. You could formulate the entire timeline. It's brilliant, honestly.
Kokoro we met was definitely the real Kokoro. Wouldn't it be tough to act like somebody else so perfectly?
This one's mine! To act is her ultimate talent, isn't it?
I messed up.
Kokoro and Emma have different heights. Wouldn't it be hard to disguise as one another?
This one's mine! Kokoro didn't get out of bed. We had no chance of checking her height.
Even so, this case isn't closed without a way to enter her room.
Mikado!
The way to enter a room may exist, just yet to be discovered.
We were always together, so I had no time to disguise.
Kanade!
How can you say always when you weren't with us the whole 24 hours?
If M's the killer, there's no need for something as complex.
Kanade!
If you all hear my reasoning, then you'll understand why she had to use a disguise.
The Kokoro we met.
This one's mine! To act is her ultimate talent, isn't it?
Even if she had perfectly imitated Yuki.
We couldn't even hear Kokoro's voice thanks to the disease. That's not a problem.
Kokoro and Emma have different heights. Wouldn't it be hard to...
This one's mine! Kokoro didn't get out of bed. We had no chance of checking her height.
Okay, got it ready to key
Even
smash.
so, this case isn't
Mikado!
The way to enter a room may exist, just yet to be discovered.
Shit, fuck. Okay, we got it.
This is our answer!
Yeah, it's totally Emma, because, like, I'm thinking back to what they said at the beginning, like, I'll try to get close to her. It's my talent makes me suited for it, after all. I thought that meant Nikkei, but if we're assuming the her is Kokoro, and Emma was the one saying that, then that makes total sense as well. So, oh, I didn't save. Fuck. Oopsie. We're gonna be fine.
Wait. We're just going in circles here. We won't make any progress like this.
Oh, people. I never expected you to be this cruel, Sora.
Why are we even still discussing this? If my reasoning's sound, which it is, mind you, it becomes pretty obvious that Emma's tears are about as real as her fake-ass accent.
Ooh. She's already gonna die, Kanata. You didn't have to drag her like that.
Anna, I know you're confident in your reasoning, but there's no need to be so rude.
Okay, fine. It doesn't seem like they're going to drop the topic, so I'll play along for now. Let's assume that the disguise is possible. So what? It doesn't matter how much one looks like another. Without a means of getting inside her room, Kanade's reasoning becomes entirely nonsensical.
Girl's got a point. Only Kokoro could get inside her own room. Each dorm door could only be opened by its respective owner. That crafty crow created a contraption that not even the craziest of characters could coerce completely, correct?
Alright, Nikkei and the alliteration.
I'm pretty sure we were all told that back when this game started.
Yeah. Right now, we still haven't overcome the biggest obstacle of getting into her room.
Well, the killer had to have entered her room at least once before murdering her.
There were only 3 chances for us to enter her room.
I don't think they I don't know. I'm kind of thinking she died at the concert.
You mean during the meal deliveries, right?
Do you see now?
The notion
No,
of
but we all saw her.
Discussions to become
It would have set
circular.
off the BDA, right? So she and she was breathing. So I mean, like, she must have died after that, I guess.
Ergo, it might behoove us to disregard it.
What are you talking about, everyone? We definitely had the chance. Why? It was when we entered Kokoro's room without her permission, of course.
You mean we entered her room without asking her permission?
Once again, Kanade seems to be one step ahead of us. Let's see where she's going with this. It's gotta be the handbook. Maybe the balcony, but I don't think so.
When do you mean we entered Kokoro's room without her permission?
Have you forgotten? After our performance, when she suddenly collapsed. In order to gain admittance, we used her e-handbook plus to open the door.
Right. And we needed her fingerprints to unlock said e-handbook plus for it to work.
Is that why Emma
But
cut off her
Kokoro was
hands?
still alive at that point. So what if we went inside?
What if somebody took advantage of the confusion and stole her e-handbook plus once inside?
I did mention that when we were
What
investigating.
if they left the room with her e-handbook
I did mention this. They swapped it out.
Then after that, they could come and go whenever they wished.
And you're suggesting that somebody is me?
I did kind of talk about
When
that.
do you mean we entered Kokoro's room without...
But didn't you need like a fingerprint? Yeah.
When she suddenly
Whoa.
Right. And we needed
Yeah,
her
this is
fingerprints.
the problem.
What if somebody took advantage of the confusion? Then after that, they
Come
could
and go whenever they wished. Tonight's in these words make sense.
Have you forgotten? In order to gain admittance, when she suddenly collapsed. Handbook plus.
Did we? No, I'm wrong about something. Hold on.
Crap.
When
I'm a
do you
little
mean
lost
we
here.
entered Kokoro's room?
Have you forgotten? In order to gain admittance.
Right. And we needed her fingerprints.
Maybe that's
to
what's
unlock.
wrong? No? Okay. No, that is right.
Shoot.
It's okay, I'm sure we'll figure it out.
In order to gain admittance. When she suddenly collapsed with her e-handbook
That I think is correct. Oh fuck, I went too far. Okay, hold on.
When do you mean we...
Have you forgotten? In order to gain admittance.
Right.
But Kokoro was...
What if somebody took advantage of the confusion?
No, that's wrong.
Fourth tries the charm. Never doubted it for a second. Let's save this time.
Hold on, Kanade. We can't know that for sure yet.
Excuse me?
I'll admit, it's true that if somebody had stolen Kokodo's e-handbook plus, they could have entered the room freely. That is, unless the auto power saving function was on.
Auto power saving function?
You mean the function that automatically turns off
Yeah.
the e-handbook plus after it's left alone for a certain amount of time?
Okay.
Even if somebody stole Kokodo's e-handbook plus, like Kanade suggests, if the e-handbook plus ever turned off, it'd be impossible to turn it back on again without Kokodo's input.
Okay, counterpoint. What if... Obviously, the handbook we found in Kokoro's room is Emma's. Emma had the auto power thing on. If Kokoro didn't, then she could still have Kokoro's, and the one we found with the auto saving function on is Emma's. Bada bing, bada boom.
Couldn't the culprit have just kept touching it to ensure it never turned off?
That isn't... You wouldn't sleep.
That's just
Yeah.
impossible. While you may be able to use the e-handbook pluses of your fellow students for mundane means, the auto power saving function shares the same recognition algorithm with turning your e-handbook plus on, which, as you all know, only reacts to the owner's fingerprints.
Like you! You're just spouting long words that I don't understand!
I don't think there were any particularly long words in there, but okay.
Essentially, the e-handbook plus would power down unless Coco herself was touching it.
It's as everyone else says, Kanade. Without knowing that fact for certain, we cannot continue with your line of reasoning.
Everyone, this may sound sudden, but can I ask you all something?
Produce your handbooks.
What is it now?
Iroha has continually insisted that Kokoro was killed by the Yukiona's curse, right?
Yes. So?
I'm glad we didn't actually go down that route, because, like, that would have just been a pointless waste of time.
And what was it that made you think it was the curse?
Because Yukiona is known to freeze the one she hates and take their hands and feet. And that's what happened to Kokoro, right?
That's right. Iroha came to that conclusion specifically because Kokoro's corpse was missing her hands and feet. Of course, she was also dumb enough to believe it was actually a curse to kill her.
That was my
but-
theory for a while, was the hands, and you use the hands to use the handbook.
Who says I'm dumb?
And just why are you bringing this up? You're not actually going to tell me you believe it was the curse too, are you? Hardly. But it begs the question, doesn't it? If it wasn't the curse, then why did the killer choose such a cumbersome method of murdering? To try and scare everyone? Wrong again, Hibiki. Please, this is obviously a copycat crime. To give off the impression it was the curse.
Every chapter 2's gotta have the copycat crime.
When in actuality, the killer had a specific reason to do this.
A copycat crime? What's that?
It's exactly how it sounds. The case was specifically set up to imitate a past crime. Kanade suggesting Kokoro's death was carried out in a way that mimics the legend of Yukiona.
So that's why they took the feet? I guess? Because that was my big question, is what practical reason would you have to take the feet? There isn't a practical reason. I guess they were just doing it to mimic Yukiona, to make it less obvious that they took her hand for the handbook.
But why would the killer do that?
It's obvious.
Yeah.
It was to cover up the trick of this locked room murder, as Sora and Mikado have proven. Kokoro's e-handbook plus would only have responded to her own fingerprints, no matter how hard they tried. The built-in algorithms would have prevented the culprit from turning the e-handbook plus back on.
Unless they did, you don't have to be alive to have a fingerprint.
So, what
Yeah.
if the killer had Kokoro's fingerprints?
I see. That must have been the reason why the killer did that to Kokoro. That evidence was found near Kokoro's body. That was nothing like the Yukiona's curse. The one little blood stain, I guess, is when she cut off the finger first, I guess? No? Okay.
Shoot.
Never mind. That evidence. The dry ice? Could you, like, dry ice someone's finger off? Like, frostbite it? No? Okay. That evidence was found by the body? What are we talking about? The debris is the dry ice. Okay, I still don't know quite why, but... That... What?
Got it.
Wait, but you said it was
You
nothing
think they
like...
cut them off?
You said it was nothing like the curse. That's the piece of evidence that most correlates to the curse. Maybe I just misunderstood the wording.
The killer cut off Kokoro's hands so they could easily have access to her fingerprints.
Cutting off the fingers to get the fingerprints?
That would explain it, though. We all just thought it resembled elements of the Yukiana's curse, while in actuality, the culprit did it to get her fingerprints.
Hold on. You're seriously insinuating the killer carried around a severed hand just to turn on the e-handbook plus?
They probably just cut the finger off first. That's what the little blood stain is.
How could such a feat be remotely possible?
Much easier to carry around a little finger than a hand.
Not only would they have to hide it, but they'd also have to consider the blood and the smell.
Not to mention, if they just wanted her fingerprints, why did they also cut her feet off?
See, that's what I was asking the entire time.
Who said they carried all her hands and feet? All they needed was her fingerprint. A fingertip would have sufficed. Then why did they cut them all off?
Because if she was only missing one finger, it would have been much easier to infer that they were after a fingerprint.
Yeah.
Besides, we only know the state of Coco's body post-discovery. It's possible the killer only carried a fingertip, then cut the rest off not long before we found her body to throw us off. That's what you wanted to say, right, Kana?
Took you all long enough? Yes, that's exactly what I'm suggesting.
It's a theory, nothing more.
But hey, that's just a theory. A Danganronpa theory. Thanks for watching.
There's no evidence suggesting such, nor would someone do such a laborious task just for one fingertip.
No, there is evidence. At the time of the body discovery, Kokoro's body had just begun to melt and bleed. But there was also a dry blood stain on the bed. At the time, it didn't make sense.
This is all moving so fast. What did the blood mean then?
Man, Shinji and Iroha are really struggling a little. I feel for them.
It means she'd bled prior to us showing up. The dry bloodstain was left behind after the killer took her fingertip. Like Setsuga said, the imitation of the curse was nothing more than a red herring.
This second island had a great motif of Yukiona's tale. It makes sense the killer would use it to distract us all.
It really
Honestly,
only
I
worked
tip
on
my
one
hat to
person,
you,
though.
dear killer.
So how about
The
it?
most superstitious
Are you
of
now
us
willing to
all.
agree it was possible to enter the room?
Well, it certainly does explain how Emma could have entered Kokoro's room while disguised as her.
Oh, but wait, there's more. On the night Kokoro collapsed, the last one to come out of her room was... Emma Nagorobi. Okay, and?
If she was the last to leave, she could have stolen the e-handbook plus without being noticed by anyone else.
Emma, you didn't, did you?
It's just as Kanade said. By determining the killer first and then retracing our steps
I
with
don't
the
know,
information
what was the
that
dry
gave
ice
us,
for? Maybe to shrivel the finger or something? I don't know.
we've been able to solve.
That's the
what
one
we
thing I
couldn't
don't think
before.
we've
Okay,
solved.
so if we combine what we just learned with what we knew earlier, the killer swept her e-handbook plus while we were placing her in her room.
I really like that Kokoro, like she was pretending to be Kokoro the whole time. That's really cool. That's a really cool gimmick, and it makes sense with her talent. Like, that's really good.
Then, after everyone went to bed, they rushed back to Kokoro's room before the e-handbook plus switched off. It's possible that the real and fake Kokoro were swapped then too.
I gotta think, when we did the little costume party with Emma and the girlies, did they say Emma did the makeup and hair? Because if they did say that, then I take back what I said about not foreshadowing Emma's ability to do makeup and hairstyling. If they said that during the scene, then that's brilliant. If they didn't say that, then I think that's a missed opportunity to have done that. But either way, I'm just thinking about that now.
And then, to make sure that they had free reign to her e-handbook plus, they cut her finger off and locked her in the refrigerator.
Oh, and
And that ties into the refrigerator trick we discussed.
How splendid. By working together, we've solved all the questions from earlier. Access to the locked room, the time needed to freeze the body, and the alibi issue.
One moment. Aren't we forgetting something? The school rules specifically state that losing your e-handbook plus is prohibited.
Well, it doesn't matter if you're dead.
If what you're suggesting is true, surely Kokoro would have been punished for losing hers, would she not?
Not really. Stealing it and losing it are two very different things.
This is also true.
And besides, school rules tend to make an exception for murder.
Seriously? That's a thing?
Oh, she's right. Monocro said so when we tried opening Kokoro's door, right before we discovered the body.
However, even if I were to open this door, what do you mean by... Back to the topic at hand, I'm afraid I cannot allow one to break into others' dorms, unless certain dire circumstances arise. The rules certainly are strict, but I shall elect to forgive you if you do such in certain situations. For instance, let's say, a murder, perhaps? Regardless, since you did go out of your way to call me, I'll be kind and open the door this one time. Door's unlocked. Coco, yeah.
On the topic of school rules, there was another one the killer violated for this case.
You mean the vandalism?
Wow, Yuki, there may be a brain in there after all.
Oi! Hop off.
Mind explaining for us, Yuki?
Don't you remember, big bro? The day after the performance, you said you'd noticed that the museum's Yuki-onna statue had been broken while out on the morning jog.
Oh yeah, well, we talked about vandalism then too.
But we all thought it was strange that Monocro hadn't punished anyone for it, when in actuality...
Why would you need to break the statue?
Yep, it was part of the trick.
Oh, because she was like, the Yuki-onna curse. It's kind of funny she went through all that effort and only one person even remotely fell for it.
In order to help create the illusion of Yuki-onna's curse, the culprit destroyed the statue to make it seem as if it had awoken.
Well, that may be one reason, certainly. Though I think the culprit had a different idea in mind. As you all know now, the crux of this case is the killer's disguise. Makeup can be used to mask the skin color. Stealing their clothes helps the appearance. But what about the hair?
We found a wig. Rah, 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 rah.
Got it. The dressing room. She took a wig from the dressing room inside the museum.
Right again.
Well, yeah, there was loads of wigs in the dressing room. But none of them looked like Kokoro's hair, right?
Just ask a cosplayer. Those people can do magic with wigs.
Iroha, do you remember the costume party we held on the first night we arrived at the second island?
Party? Oh yeah, I remember.
And do you remember who helped style our hair at that time?
Huh? Oh, it was Emma! But wait, what does the wig have to do with the broken Yuki-onna statue?
The relationship between the wig and the statue. Maybe it's because of that. See, I'm a little less sure because of that. Would it be the inventory?
Got it.
Yeah.
It's probably because of the dressing room item list.
I still don't know why she'd break the statue.
What?
Oh yeah,
Other
I saw
than
that too.
the Yuki-onna
It's a list
curse.
that details the amount of stock
I don't
for
know
each
what the
item in
list has
dressing
to do
room.
with the statue, but they'll probably tell me in a second.
How many wigs there are, how many variations of clothing there are, things like that.
If the killer had taken a wig to disguise themselves as Kokono, then the numbering on the list wouldn't match the actual stock. So to cover that, they destroyed the statue and took the hair part to fill up the inventory.
Wait, what? A statue is a statue. Did the statue have a wig on or something and I just never noticed?
Whoa. They went to all that effort for just one wig? Who'd notice something as small as that?
I guess I just didn't notice, but when I think statue, I think like a marble statue, you know? Not like a mannequin with a wig on it.
Given how crucial the disguise was to the plan, I imagine they must have been hyper-vigilant and paranoid about keeping it hidden at all costs. And as a matter of fact, their meticulousness was not in vain. A certain someone here took the time to memorize the whole list and cross-reference it with its stock every single day.
Thanks, Taruga.
What? Who could be that perverted?
God, no, that was never my intent. I'm a merchant, remember?
Free him.
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
A long time ago, I made a mistake in taking inventory, which resulted in something irreversible. I can't remember the details, but I swore to be thorough from then on. But even despite that, memorizing inventories is nothing new for me. As a merchant, I can't stand not knowing exact quantities of the stock.
Even with Teria making daily rounds, not even he noticed a wig disappearing.
At a glance, it looks like the killer was being overly paranoid, when in reality, doing exactly that was what stopped Teria from noticing a discrepancy.
It was a really good plan. I gotta give Emma that. Like, peak murder plan. This is so smart. Like, I would have never figured this. I would never figured out it was her. Obviously, I clearly didn't figure out it was her. The only reason we've even figured out it was her is because Kokoro's super obscure dying message got solved by true crime girly Kanade. We would all be completely cooked otherwise. It was a really good plan. I gotta give Emma her flowers here.
The killer really was one step ahead of everyone.
The other tell was the small amount of rubble from the statue in one of the wigs. That tiny detail is what led us down this path. Still, we would never have come up with the disguise idea without Kanade's help.
I think the only thing we haven't used is the dry ice.
No, I was just able to look outside the box. That's all.
Sure, man.
Well, well, well. It seems our killer has finally been unveiled.
If Kanade ever kills someone, we're cooked, dude.
Emma, you really?
Emma, if you really are the killer, then please, make this easy for us and confess now.
She ain't gonna do
I don't want
that.
to keep having to doubt you like this.
After all the work she went through, you really think she's gonna confess? Nah, she's going down swinging. There is no way.
Are you truly that desperate to paint me as the killer?
She's going for the sympathy play.
You've insulted my friendship with Kokoro. Used my ultimate talent
This
to
is a
get
baller
me,
sprite,
and
though.
created this elaborate theory.
This is a great sprite.
And now, you want me to confess to killing the closest friend I ever had. Have you not caused me enough pain already?
Emmy, don't cry.
I'd rather not believe any of this either, but the more I hear and the longer this goes on, even I have to wonder about the legitimacy of those tears.
Well, they don't call her the ultimate actress for nothing. Don't know about the intent, but those tears seem genuine to me.
This is all too much.
Nikkei, wait.
You're so useless.
Sorry, Nikkei supporting her? It's almost as if they're voids. They're voids. I don't know, man. I'm still not letting go of Nikkei. He might not have been the killer this time. I still am really sus of him being a void, though.
If we vote an innocent person as the Black End, then everyone but the Black End is killed, right? Fine. Have it your way. Go ahead and sentence us all to death.
What do you mean?
I've already told you. I'm not the killer. Kanade and Sora may have crafted an elaborate theory, but like I said, I didn't do it. So if you vote me, we'll all die. Whoever did this is setting me up. The real killer. They want you to think I did it. Please, you have to believe me.
You're still acting innocent? Ugh, this is just pathetic at this point. All the evidence is pointing towards you.
Sora, you remember what you said, don't you? If Kokoro hadn't died, perhaps my sincerity would have attracted her into our party. Yes, I wanted to be her friend. She may have not reciprocated it, but I genuinely cared for her from the bottom of my heart.
If I die here, I won't be able to face Kokoro in the afterlife, knowing I let her killer get away.
Wait! Could it be? Yes, I think I may have found the key that shall turn this case around. Please, give me one more chance. There is still time. Time to prove to you that I, Emma Mogorobi, am not the killer.
You better have some darn good evidence, girly.
I beg of you, please believe me. Allow me to point out the contradiction in your reasoning. It's just the one, mind you. One minor flaw in such lengthy reasoning, but this will prove my innocence, and with it, change your mind.
I don't know why they ask me if I want to hear the tutorial in minigames I have played before in this trial. Alright, what do I got? What do I got? Oh, okay, it's either the balcony or the dry ice, because those are the only things we haven't used yet.
So you're saying that the culprit must have gotten Kokoro's e-handbook plus at the performance, right? With the e-handbook plus, the culprit must have finished their preparations and gotten ready for the impersonation. According to you, it was during that night that the culprit went to the museum. There was lots to do, such as setting up the disguise and destroying the statue before morning time. But that night, I was there with all of you to hear the nighttime announcement. Since the main gate had already been closed, I had
Okay,
no
it's
way
the
to
balcony.
get out of the monocruise. Which means
That's
that
where
I
we
had
gotta
no
do.
such time to prepare the disguise. And that your theory is impossible.
Okay. Yeah, I know what I gotta do.
So you're
Shit,
saying
fuck.
that the culprit must have gotten Kokoro's e-handbook plus.
Oh my god. I've messed up so badly already. Okay, I pressed the wrong button.
Crap. So you're saying that the culprit must have gotten Kokoro's
What the
e-handbook
what the hell? Oh, stop, no. How do I unequip? Do I have to press S again?
So you're
Oh, okay.
saying that the culprit must have gotten Kokoro's e-handbook plus at the performance, right? With the e-handbook plus, the culprit must have finished their preparations and gotten ready for
Me
the
when I don't know the
impersonation.
controls.
According to you, it was during that night that the culprit
That's on
went
me,
to the
though.
museum. There was lots to do, such as setting up the disguise and destroying the statue before morning time. But that night, I was there with all of you to hear the nighttime announcement. Since the main gate had already been closed, I had no way to get out of the monocle.
I'll
Wrong.
pierce through those words.
Loud, incorrect buzzer. Yeah, rough penalty. That's fair, that's fair.
No, it's possible to get out of the monocruise after the door is locked at night.
What? Sora, are you just doing this for fun now? It is a proven fact that
It was a proven fact. While it may have been impossible on the first island, things have changed since then. And you can now get out through the balcony on the 4th floor hallway.
Oh, that's right. The balcony's door was opened while we were sailing to this current island.
But the fourth floor of the monocruise is pretty high up, isn't it? If she jumped out at that height...
Shobai said he saw, like, laundry, so it's probably like a cloth or a bed sheet.
Then what if she didn't jump? What if she had a rope-like thing to climb down?
Oh, come off it, Yuki. Now you're just being ridiculous. Nobody went out through the balcony like that.
Yeah, it's Shobai. Was it Shobai? Who was it? Oh, it was Shinji. I'm sorry, I messed up my S names.
Got it. Excuse me, Shinji?
Oh, yeah? Why do you need me all of a sudden?
Do you remember telling me that morning how you thought you saw something on the side of the balcony while on your morning jog?
Oh! You mean that? Yeah, I think I saw something like a big, long cloth being rolled up.
Well, Emma, unless you're prepared to call Shinji a liar, wouldn't you say this proves someone could escape through the balcony at night? Sure, it would only be a one-way trip, but Hajime already proved it's possible to sneak back inside the monocruise. As long as the killer snuck back inside the moment the cruise doors reopened, they wouldn't be noticed, allowing them to achieve a perfect crime.
Perhaps what Big Bro saw was the killer quickly retrieving the rope-like thing upon their return.
Seriously? That's just a hypothesis. You can't stake your claim like that.
But it just means what you said was impossible was at least possible. With all the other evidence compiled, it's not looking good for you.
But Shinji said he saw it that same day, didn't he? Yep. That sounds like a plausible means of escape to me. Wow. So many pieces pointing at Emma. Surely even you must realize that this goes a bit beyond a series of coincidences, correct? Emma, did you really? No way. So Emmy really did.
To sum up, the killer could enter Kokoro's room freely from that morning, so we had no choice but to recognize the disguised Kokoro as the real thing. And that was what made us believe that the case was a locked room murder when she unexplainably died.
If you're not satisfied yet, allow me to point out another reason to doubt Emma. Since the performance, she's made quite a scene about having lost her appetite. She hasn't finished a meal since that day.
Because if she's the killer, she'd have to act as Coco. She requested to have food delivered to her room 3 times a day. As a result, Coco would have to be in her room during those periods. However, in order to not raise suspicion, Em herself needed to join us for meals. So she came up with an excuse to leave the dining hall as soon as possible and set up the disguise.
Come to think of it, that would also explain why she gave such specific times for food to be delivered.
So she could, like, be there, I suppose?
At the time, we all just assumed it was part of Kokoro's meticulous nature, but that too was a ploy from the disguised killer. By setting such precise times, she could decrease the risk of an unexpected situation.
It was a great plan, like I said earlier. Really good plan.
It all adds up.
We really honestly should not have solved this.
You really are all going to doubt me until the very end. Even despite overlooking a crucial detail?
We've accommodated for every detail and covered all evidence.
We didn't do the dry ice, but
So please shut your mouth and stop putting up this pitiful
I assume that's
defense.
going to be like the last piece of evidence.
No, this detail is yet to be accounted for. I even mentioned it earlier. Allow me to illustrate the final point on why it was completely impossible for me to disguise myself as Kokoro.
Oh, okay. Nope, just start. It's gotta be dry ice bag. That's the only thing we haven't used. Maybe Shobai's account,
So
but
you're saying I disguised myself as Kokoro?
I don't think so.
That's utterly impossible. I'm an actress, not a voice actor. I couldn't
She didn't
mimic her
talk,
voice.
dog.
Are you also going to ignore the height discrepancy?
We already talked about that too.
I'm over 20 centimeters taller than
You didn't
her.
get out of
It's
bed.
obvious that it wasn't the real Kokoro. Of course, the two inconsistencies could be
Yep.
explained by the disease. But would I really be able to impersonate her if it weren't for the set disease? Remember, she was diagnosed the morning after the performance. The culprit would have had to prepare the disguise the night before. How would the culprit have known about Kokoro's condition in advance? Or without it, there was no other way to overcome the difference in height and voice.
Maybe it is his account.
She had a rare endemic disease. How could you possibly suggest the culprit would have been predicting?
No, that's wrong!
Okay. I don't even... He better have a good explanation for this. Brother has not said a word the entire trial.
Wait, Emma, stop. What was that about an endemic disease?
Huh? What about it?
Did she just pull a Mondo where, like, you weren't there when we said the type of disease?
That's weird. Those who weren't with us at Shobai's examination
Yeah.
shouldn't have known that Kokoro was specifically suffering from an endemic disease.
So, someone could have told her. Kokoro could have told her, I don't
Those who
know.
weren't with us?
Everyone except me, Ra, Yuko, and you. Excluding Dr. Shobai and patient Coco, of course.
You
Was
weren't
that her
there,
slip up
Emma.
earlier?
So do you mind telling us how you knew it was an endemic disease?
What are you talking about? You mentioned the disease in the dining hall, right?
No. We only said that the disease was a rare one, not an endemic one.
What?
Just say you made an educated guess, I don't know.
Not to worry, Emma. I'm sure you've heard it somewhere. Perhaps in Kokoro's bed as that very patient. Slip of the tongue so far in. Don't look now, but I think someone needs to fix their makeup. Is that sweat I see?
Oh dear. You can't take it back now.
Well now, hang on. Let me clarify, I was speaking hypothetically. She might have been suffering from an endemic disease.
What? Seriously?
You see, given the tropical nature of the islands we've been trapped on, my mind instantly assumed it was an endemic
educated
disease.
guess.
I suppose that was my fault for assuming. But you really cannot convict me for a misunderstanding.
She's recovering as well as she can.
Oh, come on! I work in journalism, and even I have to admit that's reaching.
Assumptions or otherwise, aren't you ignoring the obvious? The issue isn't about the type of disease. It's about how I knew of it in advance. According to your theory, anyway.
It's a fair point. To fit with the timeline, the culprit would have been preparing the disguise long before Kokoro's diagnosis. And had Kokoro not fallen ill, the plan wouldn't have worked. There's no way someone could have predicted that.
I don't know, Shobai must be a rat.
Do you understand now? With this, the entire disguise theory falls apart.
Ah, yes, the infamous disease. Let's talk about that for a moment, shall we? Since Emma seems so fixated on it.
Yeah,
And she
it was
is the
fake from the
ultimate
start,
actress.
yeah. Which I
What
said.
if this disease was also another part of her act?
What do you mean?
Even if Emma was disguised as Kokoro, wasn't Shobai the one who diagnosed her disease?
Oh, is that true? Then let's ask the man himself.
Bro has not said a
The
single
good
word.
doctor has been awfully quiet throughout this trial.
Oh, he's still here? I thought that was just a cardboard cutout. Yoo-hoo! Anybody in there?
I'm busy right now. Can I ignore you later? Some of us are actually getting on with more important shit. I'm running some numbers through my head. Got more than 20 business deals I need to take care of, since I'm stuck wasting my life on this rock.
This guy isn't real! Does he even realize how important this trial is?
He must know it's Emma, that's why he's so confident. But like,
Shobai,
why go
I'm
along
sorry
with
to
it,
bother
bro?
you, but we need to ask you something.
Because if she got away, you would have died, and you don't seem too keen on that.
Now what?
If you want to do your little
You guys have already
business
figured out the
deals.
killer, right? Hurry up and get to the voting already. At this point, you're just dragging things out. Nobody with a functioning brain is interested in this anymore.
We're not voting until we've cleared up every shred of doubt. So stop whining and let me ask my question. Before the investigation had even concluded, you claimed to have solved the crime, remember? You deduced the killer almost immediately, noting that they had made a huge mistake.
He said that?
Shobai, this concerns you as much as it concerns us. Was your examination genuine?
Hell no!
No, I might be a piece of work, but as a broker, I take great pride in what I do. And that includes what the job stands for. That checkup wasn't a favor. I was hired to do it. It was business.
What are you trying to say?
Client confidentiality, kid. Never disclose any details about the client or the deal. As a broker, that's my #1 rule.
Who cares about your honor if you die, bruh? Yeah.
You really gonna stick to that creek crap when your life is at stake?
Of course not. Nothing's more important to me than my own life.
That's what I figured.
That doesn't change. Screw it. I'm technically not breaking that rule by coming clean here. My client was Kokoro Mitsume, a woman who's now legally dead. And I ain't got no problem with snitching on a corpse.
Shobai, wait!
Kokoro Mitsume came to me with a request. The details are as follows. I was attacked by a void. I want to expose the void who attacked me, so please make a fraudulent examination for my safety.
So she was attacked by Emma, okay.
Finally, deliver said fraudulent examination to anyone who asks. And that's it.
I said wait!
What? So, Kokoro really was never sick at all?
That's the big question, isn't it? After all, we now know that request was not made by the real Kokoro in the first place.
Tisk, tisk, tisk.
You said that you knew who the killer was, Shobai. Were you able to infer that from the request alone?
Yeah, there was a lot that wasn't adding up. Since I take pride in my client confidentiality,
Kokoro and
I could've
heavy air
easily spoken to me
quotes.
normally, when it was just us two. And yet, she still insisted on using her iPad to communicate. That ain't all, though. Emma Magarobi said something strange, too. Right after Kokoro Mitsume collapsed and you'd all gathered round her, she specifically said that her body was scorching hot. Why did she say so when Kokoro Mitsume was attacked by the void and not suffering a disease?
Maybe she got burnt with wounds. If you think about it, everything we did was based on Emma saying she had a fever. After taking her to the room, we only gave her medicine and placed a wet towel on her forehead.
She was probably poisoned or something.
Which you'd only do if she was ill, not wounded.
Or wounded.
Well, well, well. seems Emma had already begun baiting us.
Did she kill her with the dry ice or something? Did she poison her with the dry ice?
Starting small with a fever, making us believe
I'm trying to
she's
figure out
sick,
how she actually
and
killed
having Shobay's
Kokoro.
phony diagnosis
Wait,
as
no,
the
she
nail
killed her in the
coffin.
fridge. What am I talking about? Wait. Sorry, I completely forgot what we established in the first half of the trial. She killed her by putting her in the fridge, obviously.
And of course, none of us ever remotely considered the possibility of the disease being fabricated.
Because that's how she left the message.
Just wow. I wasn't even there and that story sounds suspicious. A healthy person suddenly gets paralyzed by an unknown endemic disease.
Okay, Mikado, it's
Seriously,
Danganronpa.
guys? I
You're a
expected more.
wizard. Weirder things have indeed happened.
I see. She carefully selected her words to make a subtle shift from healthy to unhealthy. That way, the diagnosis came as less of a shock, but ironically, that was what tipped Shobai off.
What do you mean?
The two statements directly contradicted each other. Emma Magarobi said it was a fever. Kokoro Mitsume said it was an attack. Granted, the disguise fooled even me at the time, but as soon as the body showed up, it all fell into place. It was Emma Magarobi in the dorm room with the disguise. Final answer.
We just wasted hours going back and forth, old man. Why didn't you say this earlier?
I told you. I live by my own moral code, shorty.
He's one of them anti-heroes, or morally gray, that's the word I'm looking for.
But since you guys have pretty much done the elbow work, and my client is legally dead, I figured I'd come clean. So there you have it. Your last shred of doubt, all cleared up.
You're cooked, Emma.
And that's checkmate, Emma. No encore for you.
No, wait a minute. You must understand. I'm not the killer.
I'm sorry, Em, but I think you're the only one who believes that now.
Even I didn't want to believe Kanade at first. My reasoning is perfect. There's no room for doubt.
No, we're not done yet. We haven't discussed how the killer dealt with the body. I was outside of the room when the body was discovered, so I couldn't have anything to do with it.
Seriously, Emma? You could do that treatment in the morning. Once you were done with your disguise, there'd be no need to open the door for us. So you could do your job whether somebody else visited or not.
By job, you mean the final step, yeah?
That's right. Take the frozen Kokoro out of the refrigerator and cut off every hand and foot to hide the severed fingertip.
What'd she cut him off with? Or did she just snap him off because they were so frozen?
If I did that, then the room would have been full of blood, wouldn't it? And yet, there was no such trace.
Have you already forgotten her body was completely frozen? There'd be no risk of blood being spilt anywhere. At most, the flesh would have been disturbed. I'm gonna be sick! Once that was all done, all you needed to do was return the refrigerator dividers back to their original position, then slap a liquid nitrogen labeled drum down as a distraction. Finally, get out of the room and mission accomplished.
Hang on, that doesn't make sense. Kokoro was frozen by the instant freeze mode of the refrigerator, wasn't she? Not by the liquid nitrogen. Regardless of how long you freeze something, expose it to room temperature for a few hours and it'd melt on you.
I do recall seeing some blood emanating from Miss Mitsume's severed limbs.
Yeah, barely. If it was melting normally, we should have seen a lot more.
Dry ice. That's what the dry ice is for? Okay, we finally figured out what the dry ice is for, guys. Took us long enough, but we finally got around to the dry ice.
Got it. Nikkei, that's because the killer used dry ice.
Dry ice?
When the body was first discovered, the room was unusually cold and covered in a thick mist. At first we believed it was the liquid nitrogen, but it was actually dry ice. We found a bag of it at the crime scene.
She maintained the temperature with dry ice in order to prevent the frozen body from melting.
How about it, Emma? Finally ready to give in? Emmy?
Sneeve!
What did I ever do to deserve this? I didn't do anything wrong. I just wanted Kokoro. These are all just coincidences. I didn't kill her. I swear to you.
Em.
Can someone shut her up already? Give it a rest, woman. You lost.
Showboy's voice actor is so good for the sleazy character that they're playing.
You believe me, don't you? Please convince them for me. We're all walking into a trap.
Why are you appealing to Sora? Sora's one of the two people who accused you first. If you're appealing to anybody, you should be like Hibiki or Setsuka. It's hard to suspect Emma when she's crying like this, but all the evidence is indicating Emma is the culprit. It's just an act. Another performance from the ultimate actress. Sorry, Emma, but the show's over. Let's present the final evidence to end this trial for good. Ooh, is this like Harley Quinn? Not the direction I thought they'd take.
So cruel.
Harry Potter wand, maybe?
You must reconsider. You better back off. Why won't you believe me? We're all going to die.
Fuck, I forgot I have to reload.
I'm innocent. Hear me out. Could you accuse me of such a thing? Cruel. You're all so cruel. Consider. Is this the end? Why won't you believe me? How could you accuse me of such a thing? We're all going to die. I thought we were friends. It can't end like this. It can't end like this. You must reconsider. You better back off. Why won't you believe me? We're all going to die. Is this the end? I'm innocent. Hear me out. End like this. So cruel. You're all so cruel. Reconsider. I'm innocent. Hear me out. Why won't you believe me? How could you accuse me of such a thing? The end? I thought we were friends. So cruel. You're all so cruel. Accuse me of such a thing. You must reconsider. You better back off. Why won't you believe me? We're all going to die. I thought we were friends. I'm innocent.
Oh,
Hear me out. You accuse me of such a thing.
Shit.
You're all so cruel. Reconsider. I'm innocent. Hear me out. Why won't you believe me? I'm innocent. Why won't you believe me? I thought we were friends. We're all going to die. You must reconsider. It can't end like this. I thought we were friends. I'm innocent. Hear me out. We were friends. We're all going to die. I thought we were friends. So cruel. I'm innocent. So cruel. Hear me out. Won't you believe me? We're all going to die. It can't end like this. Why won't you believe me? I'm innocent. Hear me out. We were friends. You must reconsider. I'm innocent. Hear me out. Won't you believe me? I thought we were friends. We're all going to die. You must reconsider. So cruel. You're all so cruel. I'm innocent.
Shit, fuck.
Hear me out. Friends. We're all going to die. I thought we were friends. So cruel. I'm innocent. Hear me out. Won't you believe me? We're all going to die. I'm innocent. Hear me out. Won't you believe me? I'm innocent. Hear me out. Friends. You must reconsider. I'm innocent. Hear me out. You better back off. How could you accuse me of going to die? I'm innocent. Hear me out. You must reconsider. We were friends. You must reconsider. It can't end like this. How could you accuse me of such a thing? Consider this the end. How could you accuse me of such a thing? You're all so cruel.
Reload.
Accuse me of such a thing. It can't end like this.
Sorry, I'm being quiet. I'm like locked in.
You must reconsider. We were friends. You must reconsider. I'm innocent. You better back off. How could you accuse me of such a thing? To die. I'm innocent.
This is easier than the last, than the one from DR1, or DRA1, I mean.
Back off. Is this the end? You must reconsider. We were friends. How could you accuse me of such a thing?
We're almost there.
Accuse me of such a thing. You better back off. Is this the end? You must reconsider. What possible reason could you have listened
Both
to Kokoro?
never seen in the same place.
This is the end.
Oh, what a scream. Alright, we got 100 though.
I just have one more thing I'd like to ask everyone. Has anybody here ever visited Kokoro with Emma?
Huh? Oh, that's...
I thought not. And the reason why? Because it's impossible. As we've agreed, the bedridden Kokoro was none other than Emma. If Emma ever came to visit, the bed would be empty.
What are you talking about, Sora? I definitely visited Kokoro's room. Yuki, Teruya, you two remember, don't you?
Is that the first time she didn't open the door though?
Oh, that's true. I've definitely gone there with Emma before. As she was leaving the dining hall, I caught up with her and suggested she join us.
But did Kokoro open the door when you arrived?
No. That was yesterday evening. The first time, Kokoro didn't open the door for us.
So catching Emma off guard, she must have realized, I can't open the door now anymore. She couldn't do it that time, and from then on, she fabricated it to look like that's when Kokoro had been murdered, to make it seem, yeah, I got it.
Suspected. After all, how could Kokoro open the door while Emma was outside the very same door?
Ironic, isn't it, Emma? What Yuki just said makes you even more suspicious. You always claimed to have no appetite, so you could sneak out of the dining hall and eat your meals as Kokoro. And as a result, you never sat with Kokoro during one of her meals.
Wow, you sure did care for her, Emma. A grand total of 0 visits for your sick best friend. Didn't even visit her once.
More like she couldn't.
Perhaps Mr. Maeda's suggestion caught her off guard. She certainly did seem in a hurry to leave that evening.
It's over, Emma. There's nowhere to run. Finally given up? Good. It's time for your curtain call. Let's summarize the case once again and expose your crime.
Alright, let's go. Yikes, with a hacksaw. We tied her up. Okay. Oh! Makoto and Ibuki. That's cute. Okay. And they jumped out. Took a wig. Smash. Replace. What? Okay, I must be a little bit off. Oh fuck. No, that was definitely wrong. No, I gotta go again. Bing. Bing. Yes? No? What am I wrong about? Okay, hold on. Disguised as Kokoro, they use the diagnosis. Should hope I noticed the abnormality. I must be mixing this up a little bit. This is first. Then maybe this, then this, then this? Alright, alright. Frozen. I'm not sure. Hold on. I think I have this incorrect. What is this one? They took out the frozen body and cut off its hands and feet after manipulating the crime scene. They haven't done that yet. Maybe? No. It's a little hard for me to tell the exact order of these panels. That's such an awful way to die, bruh. Like... Oh, fuck. I didn't mean to... No? Okay. Shit. Please? No. I think maybe start over. Fuck! That sucks. Okay. Concert, pass out, enter, steal. Sneak. Then it was cut, right? Yeah. Cut. Shove. Freeze. Then it was... Then... Oh, shoot, I've already messed up. It's okay, I can redo it. There we go. This page is what's screwing me up. Okay, I gotta look at all these. As time passed, the body was discovered. While being frozen, she used the last of her strength to write the message. Everyone in the monocruise visited without noticing the disguise. Maybe that's last? The real Kokoro eventually froze to death. After manipulating the crime scenes. That's definitely not it. Kokoro left a dying message with icicles. Oh, I don't know. I'm sure I can figure this out. I think I know what panels to use, but like... Trying to think. It's gotta be these four, right? Like, the disguise. She left a message. Icicles. I feel like I tried this combo already, though. I'm so confused. It's like... I don't even know. I'm just trying random combos at this point. Wait, what? That doesn't make sense, though. Because, like, it said Kokoro froze to death. She couldn't use her last of her strength. She would use her strength and then freeze to death and die. Right? I don't know. Maybe it's just another lost in translation thing. But whatever, it's fine. I think I was made a little more sense, but it's fine, it's fine. Before the BDA. Nitrogen. I already used most of these. Okay. So wait, it's this one, this one. And then... Wait. Okay, crime, it's this first. Took the body out. Then the drum? Or would it be the cutting and then the drum? Before the BDA. Wait. No, I think I'm wrong with this for sure. Okay, hold on. The culprit returns to the mono cruise and joins the others before the body discovery announcement. This is the body discovery announcement. Stuck the liquid nitrogen after... Oh, shoot. Definitely wrong. I think I had the middle two wrong. No. How am I supposed to know? I guess ice would be... You do nitrogen first, right? Nitrogen... This says after manipulating the crime scene. Well, wait, no. You do this, then ice, and then run? No. I'm gonna lose again. Alright, hold on. I think I was right here, then this, then this. It's definitely not that one. Well, I already tried this one, but see, here's what's tripping me up, right? Because... This says, joins the others before the body discovery announcement. This is the body discovery announcement. So you would think... But, oh wait, that's because it's from Hajime's trial! I'm so stupid! I was like, wait, did she even do that? It's Hajime's! Okay, you're right, game. I'm wrong.
This is the truth of the case.
We're gonna pretend that wasn't me being an absolute moron.
At some point during the performance, Kokoro suddenly collapsed. The culprit was the first to check her temperature, describing it as scorching hot to make us believe she'd fallen ill to some disease. While in reality, the killer had likely attacked Kokoro during the noise and excitement of the concert. We immediately brought Kokoro into her room. We used her finger to gain access to her e-handbook plus. The e-handbook pluses can only be turned on by its owner's fingerprint. The feigning concern over Kokoro, the killer made sure to leave her room last. They needed to do this in order to subtly steal Kokoro's e-handbook plus.
Me when I yoink.
As soon as nighttime arrived, the culprit returned to the scene after making sure everyone else was asleep.
Also, anyone who said that the melody song was fine for copyright, you lied to me. You lied to me. It did get flagged.
Since the e-handbook plus's power was still on, they were able to re-enter her room. Knowing they wouldn't be interrupted at night, the culprit began their preparations. First, they tied up Kokoro and then cut off her fingertip. They needed this in order to have permanent access to her e-handbook plus. Once the bleeding had stopped, they stuffed Kokoto into the refrigerator. By removing all of the refrigerator's dividers, there was just enough space to store her body in. After placing her body inside, they set the refrigerator's output as instant freeze, with the intent to freeze Kokoto to death. Next came the disguise preparations. The disguise was the most crucial element to this murder, as they wanted it to seem as if Kokoto was alive for longer than she was. They stole the clothes Kokoto had been wearing, then set out to find a wig that emulated her hair. Fortunately for our killer, they'd taken note of the dressing room in the museum and planned to use it to their advantage. Naturally, people would be concerned over Kokoto, so the disguise had to be ready by the next morning. But the monocruise had already closed its gates for the night. This left the killer with no choice but to create a makeshift rope and climb down the monocruise from the 4th floor's balcony. Upon arriving at the museum, they took a wig that resembled Kokoto's hair from the dressing room. However, this would create a discrepancy with the dressing room's item list. So to accommodate for this, they destroyed the Yuki Onna statue and planted its hair in the wig's place. The destruction of the statue brought 2 benefits. Not only did it fix the discrepancy, but also made some fear the curse of the awakened Yuki Onna. Considering the body's state when we discovered it, the implications of the curse only increased. The next morning, the culprit returned on board the monocruise right after the door opened, making quick work to remove the evidence at the balcony. They also used Kokoto's eHandbook Plus to send a request to Shobai. I was attacked by a void. I want to expose the void who attacked me, so please make a fraudulent examination for my safety. Finally, deliver said fraudulent examination to anyone who asks. That was the request. Dr. Grumpy accepted this request,
Grumpy.
but began noticing
That's
something
crazy
was off
work.
while talking with the disguised culprit. They made sure to remain silent even in front of Shobai himself, contradicting the killer's note of Kokoto having a fever the previous night. Perhaps he was able to deduce the killer based on these 2 inconsistencies. Either way, his false examination made us believe that Kokoto had begun to suffer from a disease.
The art is so good. Like, it's the visual upgrade between the last game and this one is so impressive.
With us taking the bait, the killer no longer had to worry about the 2 biggest issues with their disguise: the height and the voice. The phony paralysis also allowed the culprit to request we bring them meals at 3 specific times a day. That was done to reduce the risk of an unexpected situation, and to ensure they were in disguise for 3 set times. In an attempt to appear less suspicious, the culprit themselves faked a loss of appetite, to provide ample time to disguise as Kokoto and eat her meal instead. And while effective at first, this ironically made them look more suspicious in the long run. Over the next few days, we continued to bring Kokoto her meals, unaware of the one beneath the disguise. We all continued to believe that, while unwell, Kokoto was still alive. But the horrid truth was that the real Kokoto Mitsume was slowly freezing to death in the refrigerator. Right before she perished though, she used the last of her strength to leave a dying message.
I wonder why Kokoro didn't, like, I don't know, try and shake the refrigerator when she heard people in there, like, you know, kick or something. But she might just have been too weak or whatever.
She broke 8 icicles that were created by the instant freeze mode, proceeding to carve F on the front and O on the back with her nail. Then, on the last icicle, she carved I instead of O, and penetrated the longest icicle through the I icicle to complete the message.
How does one even do that? How do you stick an icicle through another icicle? Like, how do you do that without it breaking? I don't know.
There are 8 icicles with the letter F, and conveniently also 8 females. That would mean the tallest girl among all females was the one who killed Kokoto. After all, the culprit was indeed the tallest among the females. Without the dying message, we never would have been able to pinpoint the culprit. Eventually, the real Kokoto Mitsume finally died, leaving the culprit with no further reason to keep up the act. That night, the culprit grabbed a pack of dry ice and an empty oil drum.
Me when I find a random liquid nitrogen label laying around.
the following morning with the intent to complete their crime. By slapping a liquid nitrogen label into the drum, we don't make the mistake of assuming Kokoro had been freezing via the nitrogen, not the refrigerator.
This is a really good plan, though, as I have said numerous times.
There was also the issue of Kokoro's missing fingertip. Had only that been missing, we'd have caught on much sooner. So to cover the tracks, the culprit cut off both her hands and feet. Not only did this work in their favor, but again, it brought more suspicion onto the Yukiona's curse. Finally,
which
all
nobody
that was left
fell
to do was
for,
cover
which
the
is
ruined
so
body in
funny.
dry ice, to force the body to melt at a much slower rate before fleeing the scene.
I like that, though. I like that nobody but Iroha fell for it. Like, it would have been kind of, at least in my opinion, a little irritating if we had another hour tacked on in this trial because we were like, it's the Yukiona curse!
The rest was like clockwork. Over time, we'd become suspicious that Kokoro wasn't answering her door, causing us to eventually discover the body. The culprit was incredibly cunning and careful. If it weren't for Kokoro's dying message, they may very well have gotten away with the crime.
If it weren't for Kanade, they would have gotten away with the crime.
Perhaps this was karma for pretending to care deeply for her. The monster who had us all fooled. The one who murdered Kokoro. It can be no one but you, Emma Magarobi.
Banger art, banger! I faltered a little bit at the end, but I think we still got a good trial score.
No one but you? You said no one but you?
Nice, Sprite.
It's a failure then. So be it.
D? Rank D? What's wrong with you? Look at all those hundreds. I had like 3 bad minigames out of 13. A D? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hell no. No, 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 no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 800 plus 60 plus 90 plus 80 plus 60 plus 50 divided by... That's an 87.6%. That's a B plus. That's a B plus. My grades are better than that. Unbelievable. I was robbed. How much money do I get? This better not affect my credit score. 23,000? Is that with or without the double? That's without the double. Oh, we're rolling in the money. Oh, wait, that's my rank bonus. Okay, maybe that was with the double.
It seems you have all finally reached a conclusion. Just like the last trial, you only get one attempt at voting. Think carefully before you decide. Now, let us see if you have chosen wisely or poorly. Ladies and gentlemen, use the panel in front of you to vote for who you believe to be the culprit. Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What is it going to be?
I suppose we'll find out. Yippee! Wahoo! We made it. Yeah.
Congratulations!
That's right. Miss Emma Magarobi was the culprit of this murder case. A rightful verdict indeed.
I must say, I'm impressed.
But your performance was splendid.
No way.
Emma.
Fuck!
Darn it. I like how he said, like, his voice clip said fuck, but his actual text line was just darn it, like, not even a damn it. The contrast made me giggle. We got the right answer. Emma was the killer. We had already worked it out during the class trial. Everyone must have voted her with confidence. But even so, knowing the answer beforehand didn't make this any less of a shock. Having to accept that one of your classmates committed murder? Why?
Unforgivable!
Just why? You were close friends with Kokoro. Why did you kill her, Emma? 'Cause Emma's a void.
Idiot.
Why do you think she did it when there's only one possible reason?
But that's why.
It's 'cause she's a void. You're a void, aren't you, Emmy? Well?
Hey,
Isn't it too early to say that? We're not entirely sure if a murderer is 100% guaranteed to be a void member. That's suspicious. That's a weird thing to say.
You!
It will be best if Emma explains it to us herself.
Listen,
Please, tell us about your reason. There's no need to mind my presence, Miss Magarobi. Speak as freely as you'd like. Eh? What's he talking about?
I tip my hat to you.
Your abilities are far superior to those of Mr. Makonuchi, so I put my trust in you. You may use the little time you have left in any way you want. Having kept silent since the end of the trial, Emma suddenly let out a deep breath. And began talking.
Nothing big. I did it because I'm a void, like you pointed out. That's just like Hajime was. I am Mikado's co-conspirator and ally too. I'm sorry if you expected something saintly from me.
Emma's beautiful face became contorted as she spoke. It looked surprisingly similar to Hajime's appearance in the last trial. I wonder if what Nikkei said means next time we're not gonna get a void killer. A void?
Duh.
See? I told you.
Wait!
But the voids, weren't they no longer willing to work with Mikado after he betrayed them?
Listen,
Betrayed. Yes, Hajime died, and we weren't told that we would die for real either. From our perspective, it's true that Mikado betrayed us. Then why? Why did you commit murder?
it cannot be helped.
It's too late for us to turn back. Us voids, we cannot be saved even if we decide to abandon the plan at this point. If we antagonized Mikado and helped you escape this island, there would be absolutely nothing left for us. But you didn't have to go as far as to murder. I didn't know about your motive, but we could have helped you get over it.
Don't understand.
It's not something that can be magically solved like that. You don't know anything about us. We have our own reasons for doing this.
Also,
Is that why you killed Kokoro? Was it to carry out the Void's plan as a member of the group?
that's why.
Kokoro said Hajime's murder was coordinated in advance. They must have a goal that needs to be accomplished no matter what, even if it means killing someone and risking execution.
huh?
So, was supposed to murder too?
How awkward.
That is one point I find strange as well. I am certain Miss Magarobi's turn was yet to come.
What did you say?
Uh-huh. What do you mean?
Allow me to explain.
I'll give a brief explanation. Each of the 5 voids has a responsibility to commit murder in a set order. I believe Mr. Makanuchi mentioned this before. Of course, anyone else is welcome to kill. You may think this is a safeguard against possible deadlocks. If only voids commit murder, other voids with knowledge of the kill order would know the identity of the culprit long before the trial.
Indeed.
It would be like watching a mystery TV show after being spoiled on the ending. It would be neither fair nor entertaining. However, it is surely a great merit to know who is supposed to murder next.
What are you saying?
Then, if it wasn't Emma's turn yet,
Well, that's
I
not
was
good.
perplexed after realizing who the culprit was. The occurrence of a non-Void member was within my expectations, but Voids muddling up the kill order? It would have been nice if I was informed of this in advance.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Mikado. I messed up the reenactment.
You are forgiven.
No need to apologize. Although you may not have noticed it, you reenacted the case to a fine extent. Reenacted? Has this game been, like, played before? And we're, like, playing it again? But why? Maybe, like, okay, crack theory. What if the 5 Voids are, like, 5 survivors of a killing game or something? And, like, I don't know, they're redoing their killing game for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why they do it, but maybe it's something like that. Kokoro Mitsume. Because that woman got on my nerves. I had to kill her. But you were really close with her. Why?
Alright.
Since I'm going to die soon, I'll tell you. It was when we were watching the twins' performance. What's the matter, Kokoro? The concert is still going on. Why did you want to have a talk all of a sudden? She's like, I figured you out, Emma. This is also for your own sake. I hope you understand. Emma, you have been encouraging me to join the rest of you for the past few days, correct? Right. Oh, do you feel like doing it at last? Well, I believe you can suppose so, but only under one condition. A condition? I have plans to cooperate and resolve the situation with the rest of you, if you decide to work with us, Emma. What do you mean by that? I don't know. What don't you understand? My condition is for you, a member of Void, to stop working for your group and join us. What are you talking about? Me? A Void? I admit you've done a great job, but acting won't work here. You cannot deceive me. Emma Megorobi, you are a Void. Don't worry. If I had intended to reveal your identity to everyone, I would have already done so. I know a few others who are quite likely to be in Void as well. Still, I am proposing this offer to you because you always approached me with a friendly attitude. I think you could be of great help to us. I hope you aren't considering attacking me. That would be an incredibly unwise decision. I am not so impudent as to talk one-on-one with a dangerous individual such as you. Besides, everyone will witness your crime, even if you do succeed. I asked Teruya Otori to act as my bodyguard a few days ago. He should be watching us as we speak. If you're planning any tricks, give it up now. What do you want? Just as I said, come to our side. Tell everyone that you're a Void, and share any information you have about Void, and Mikado Sonoji. We need the Void's information in order to work out the problem. In fact, I have a fairly convincing suspicion about Mikado Sonoji. If the Void's testimony backs it up, we may be able to escape this island. There are 2 more Voids among us. If I become a traitor, you know what they'll do. No need to be concerned. I believe I know who they are. If you choose to join us, I will make them follow you to join our side. That's easy for you to say. We Voids have a reason to be committed to our plan, even as far as to resort to these dirty methods. I don't know how you managed to expose me, but I can't give up here, even if against you, Kokoro. Do you know our pain? Our suffering? If you know so much, why don't you try your almighty mind reading on me? At last, you expressed your honest feelings. What? For these last few days, Emma, you've constantly tried to get along with me. As the ultimate actress, you played a pure-hearted friend with a level of sincerity that even I couldn't doubt. Of course, your real purpose was to keep watch on me, someone who poses a threat to Void. Your overly perfect kindness. Nothing but purity in your mind. I was able to deduce you were a void using these hints. But at the same time, I wanted to know how you truly felt. Regardless of your intent, you were the first to become this close to me. Kokoro, only after pushing you this far, I do finally understand you. Which makes me want even more for you to work with us. Emma. Not her blushing right before she's about to get murked. But don't worry. Whether it's about your father or your adoptive parents, we'll do the best we can to help. What? I told you earlier. Because you showed me your honest feelings, I can understand you now. Naturally, when I read a defenseless person's mind, I can see their true feelings. Your dark past, Void's motives, I saw all of it. You saw my... I apologize for doing it without your consent, but this was the only way to convince... Emma? No. This emotion is something twisted. No. Monstrous? No, I'll do whatever you say. I'll bring money. Just don't... Wait, Mr. Ittori!
Shit.
That's...
Good grief.
I see. Miss Magarobi's old wound was carelessly torn open by Miss Mitsume. What are you talking about?
You see.
Miss Magarobi has lived a terrible past which she absolutely loathes to recall. I would say it's similar to psychological trauma. The mere act of recalling it is enough to cause her seizures even in ideal circumstances. When combined with her complex feelings and the shock from being exposed, Miss Magarobi couldn't control her emotional outburst anymore.
Certainly.
So it was an accidental murder then? Now I understand why Emma committed murder when it wasn't her turn.
I messed up.
I'm sorry, everyone. As Emma said, the day after I woke up on the island, Kokoro gave me a personal request. She said she was going to focus completely on finding the voids, and was concerned about the other voids targeting her. So she told me to watch her from a close distance and... come to her aid in case something happened. Words.
But...
She must have chosen you because you were least likely to be a void. Oh, wait a minute. Kokoro said that? She made a whole announcement to tell us she wasn't going to care about void whatsoever.
You see...
She said that in order to throw the voids off her trail. She wasn't sure who was in void, so she pretended to be ignorant and worked in secret.
Then...
So she should have at least told Teruya who she suspected of being voids. Maybe she did and we're just not hearing that? I don't know. You gotta have some backup plan, maybe, but she also wasn't expecting to get killed, so I get it at the same time. But would have been nice, would have been convenient. Kokoro, my goat. Kokoro really wanted to help us.
Darn it!
But I couldn't save her. I was distracted by the concert and took my eyes off. I left Kokoro to get attacked and die right under my nose.
That's...
You don't have to feel responsible, Teruya. No one would have expected a killer to attack her in a crowded place like that.
But...
Yeah, and that would mean it's our fault too for doing the concert. If Kanade and I looked more closely at the audience, this wouldn't have...
The hell?
I know the audience was looking toward the stage, but why didn't the twins see anything? Kanade. Kanade always closes her eyes when playing the guitar. And I can't see very far when I'm focused on communicating with people in the front rows.
Cut it out!
Stop it. Now isn't the time to blame yourselves, everyone. We just got unlucky that all the bad things happened at once.
It cannot be helped.
It's already over. But I don't regret it. It was bound to happen someday. After all, this is a curse ingrained in my memory. Even if Kokoro did not bring up my past, I would have never betrayed Void.
This is my resolve.
As a Void, I will put everything into the one last hope we have. Even if you die from it?
Even so.
Yes, because I would be no better than a walking corpse if the plan fails. You sure about that, Em?
Huh?
Wait. Do you really have no regrets? Big Sis had a gut feeling that you really did feel happy when you were with Kokoro, Same when you were with us. Max said he enjoyed being with us too.
Yes.
She's right. Void is only doing this because they were forced to by some unknown reason. It's not too late. You can recompense for what you did later. For now, don't you think we should work together to give Mikado a big kick in the butt? Mikado! I'm done. Start my execution now.
Huh?
Is that really alright?
I
don't think I can face you all any longer. If I stand here for another moment, I won't be able to remain a void.
But
Emmy! No one but Emma herself would ever know whether she was putting on an act or not, but I could tell that she looked incredibly distressed at that time. Knowing that a classmate committed murder, hearing that she was a void, troubled by mixed feelings, no one knew what to say. Instead, we merely stood, watching her.
look.
I'll say one last thing. Shinji's plan, I don't think it was fundamentally in the wrong direction. If we had another way out, we wouldn't have agreed to this nasty plan. Hajime felt it. And I did too. I'm sure that if we'd met under different circumstances, we would have stayed as good friends. But while the plan is in action, all of the process means nothing.
It cannot be helped.
No matter what you all do, the outcome is already set. Just like how I'm about to die despite my struggles.
What did you say?
The outcome is already set.
That's why.
Even though I will die as another sacrifice to the plan, you all should try working against it in whatever way you believe in. That's all I can say. I'm sorry. Em, are you seriously okay with that? It's your last chance. Can't you tell us something to strike back at Mikado with, at the very least?
Please
Your
stop
words
that.
are of no use. Like all other voids, Miss Magarobi is already well aware of the state she's in. This is their only choice. They must put every bit of themselves into this plan.
Say, just what is this plan you keep mentioning? Nothing any of you voids say makes any sense.
Now then.
Well, it would not make much of a difference, even if Miss Magarobi and I told our plan to everyone here. As Miss Magarobi said, the outcome is already set. Everything in here is only a step leading toward that outcome.
You're amazing.
In any case, I would like to show my respect for Miss Magarobi's towering intellect. It was a really good plan. Keeping calm in our current position isn't an easy task to do. Show respect to your intellect. Ah, I can see why Miss Magarobi enjoys these type of jokes. Oh.
Please.
I don't care. Just kill me already. All
Alright.
right. I am glad to have worked with such an outstanding person. It's almost a shame that I have to execute her myself. But are you certain about this? The subject of death is not something to be taken lightly, even more so than you think.
Careful now.
Only a few minutes left. You'll be executed shortly after. Prepare to take in the full experience of the last moment of your life. The excitement in the crowd has waned by now. It must be time for your curtain call, the execution. Let us commence. I have prepared a special punishment for tonight's blackened, Miss Emma Magarobi, the ultimate actress. I'm dying. Hold on. Don't start it yet. I think I'm scared. Then, shall we start?
I don't want to die! I don't want to die! I still want to live! I don't want to be killed!
It's punishment time.
This is probably gonna be brutal. Alright. Let's bunker down. Oh, we're just full on Harry Pottering this. Is this, can you use this music? Warner Brothers, I don't think they signed off on this. Team Void Pictures. Unless this is, I don't know, it sounds really similar. I hope that doesn't get struck. I'll mute the clip if I have to.
Why so serious?
Oh. I like the movie references, though. What is this? Oh, cool. Okay. Horror movie references. Oh, is she gonna get eaten? Oh, yikes. Oh, she really got torn apart. Yoikers.
Oh.
Poor woman. You were never paid back for your efforts.
Farewell.
Miss Emma Magarobi, may her remains rest in peace.
No way.
Dear me. An excellent colleague, I must say. But you too were nothing more than a predictable, average being in the end.
How disgraceful.
Pleading for mercy at the very last moment. How utterly disgraceful. Please, no more. How long do we need to keep doing this? Sneeze.
Darn it.
Damn it. Damn it!
Well, great.
We done here? Can I leave now?
What a dumbass.
Hey! That was the wrong voice line. You! What gives you the right to act like that when you've contributed so little?
Piss off.
Shouldn't you be used to it by now? Mind your own business.
But
Shobai, I don't care what you do, but aren't you in need of a way to get out of this place too? I can look after myself. Quit bothering me.
Well, that came out of left field, huh?
No, that girl. Emma Magarobi, wasn't it? I heard her speaking. Something about the girl she offed. Kokoro Mitsume. I can't help but wonder. Shit. Her death might have been a greater loss than I thought.
The hell?
What's he talking about?
Seriously?
He just left?
Congratulations.
My, what an eventful evening. Everyone, I must thank you for your hard work. Our numbers may dwindle, but we cannot let our spirit falter. Man, I'm gonna have to go back and mute that Harry Potter clip, aren't I? It's fine. I can just I'll just mute that segment. It's fine. In post. Let's return to our daily lives. Otherwise, those weary looks of yours may frighten away the sparks of joy.
No good.
He's a spiteful person, even till the end. The second-class trial was over. The culprit of the second murder was executed. Regardless of who she really was, this was the death of a friend we'd been living with for the past few days. Like in Hajime's case, this wasn't a feeling I could just push aside. And all that remained in the courtroom was an extremely unpleasant feeling. Even Setsuka and Shinji, who'd been our pillars of strength, kept silent, as if they'd lost their energy. Sneeze! Sneeze!
Hey!
Stop crying, Iroha. Guys, I don't know what to say, but we can't give up here.
Darn it!
Ugh, come on, Teruya. Think. Man, what would they have said at a time like this? Damn it. Everyone.
for real?
Wow. I never thought I'd see the day where I'd agree with Mikado.
Huh?
Big sis? You?
Guys, snap out of it!
Huh?
Beaky? What are you all doing, moping around like this? We can't let this beat us. Even Mikado knew that. No, let's hold our heads up and return to our daily lives. Or what? Do you want to stay up all night in this creepy class trial room? Huh?
What are you saying?
Did she suddenly get possessed by a spirit or something? Honestly, I'm feeling a lot of guilt right now. I'm indirectly responsible for both Jimmy and Emmy's murders. We threw a party that led to Rin dying because I was complaining all the time. And I also helped with the concert Suka planned, where Coco was murdered.
What?
Yeah, so... What, are you gonna burst into tears again? How original. Nikki! And yeah, this is tough, but if I keep being peevish and whiny, then it'll just happen for a third time. Okay, so she's either, like, dying next chapter, or she's a survivor. You can't get this much development without something big happening to you. Another murder will happen because of me. Not at all. It's not your fault. Don't put the blame on yourself, you hear?
In that case...
No, it's okay. I realized that I have to change when Suka cheered me up last time. And even more so, I don't want to be a burden to the rest of you. Well, how about that? How can anyone say no to such a heartwarming speech from Lil Beaky? Who are you calling little, huh?
Oh, right.
What Emma said confirms my thoughts. The Voids are...
Pay attention.
The Voids are victims too. Well, I don't know about their goal. I do know that the bonds we made with them over the past few days were real. Whatever the plan is, they're only carrying it out because they have no other choice. So, if we can just find another way to help them, we could solve everything.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Things are heating up.
that's it. Okay, time to find this other way. If we work together, we can save the Voids and ourselves. I, Shinji Kasai, promise you that I will never, ever give up. Everyone. It seemed as if Hibiki pulled us out of this bleak moment we were in. If you think about it, wouldn't she be the person who changed the most upon coming to this island? After going through a series of events, Hibiki had now developed a mature attitude that moved everyone's hearts. With a few exceptions, of course. Like hell we will.
What did you say?
I'm out.
If you're gonna be all buddy-buddy after this, be my guest. But I'm out. I'm gonna do this by myself now. Maybe he's not a Void. I don't know. He's been so suspicious, but he might be a red herring. I don't know. I'm a little on the fence about it.
Huh?
Nikki, what's gotten to you all of a sudden?
What?
It's not all of a sudden. Didn't I tell you before the trial? Blindly trusting one another is just a recipe for disaster. We've tried it twice now. Both times ended the same way. He's kind of spitting, though. Like, he's being a little bit of a jerk about it, but I also don't know if blind trust is the way to go. Shinji said Voids are victims, too. But so what? That doesn't make them any less of a criminal, and we don't know when they're gonna come after us, either. I mean, he's not wrong. Well, you all have fun with that. If you still want to call them friends and whatnot, then be my guest. But keep me out of this. I'm done.
Are you for real?
What? You made all that effort to join our group and now you're throwing it away just like that?
If so...
Are you hiding something from us? Could you be in Void?
This is pointless.
Think whatever you want. I just can't trust... Oh, thank you for the super chat. Hold on, I'll finish this line. Think whatever you want. It's just that I can't trust your naive approach will work. The twins are so interesting. Best girls for real. They are so interesting. I really love their dynamic and how they're written. I really like them. They're very interesting characters. I was really worried at first that they were going to be just like very one-note twin kind of stereotypes. But no, I think they're really interesting so far, and I can't wait to see how it goes. Because there's no way both of them are making it to the end, right? So... I like them a lot, so Super Simputer, thank you again for the super chat. From now on, I'm flying solo, like Shobai. Good luck with that strange Teruya guy. Later. Jeez, what's up with that guy? Why is he suddenly acting like that?
Wait.
Suddenly? No, Nick said so himself. Even before the murder, he already had some gripes with our situation. He can do whatever he wants. It's not like I wanted him with us. That said, we should be going now.
Now then.
Right. We'll think of what to do next when morning comes. Roha, you feeling any better? Yes, I'm sorry for the mess earlier. Yuki, we should go. Yuki? What's wrong? You were spacing out.
Yu was a big fan of Emmy. I know how you feel, but try to cheer up for Emmy, okay?
That's...
It's not because of that. Oh, you guys... sorry. People want me to do the twin free time events? I'd be down for that, sure. Sure, we can do some next chapter, if it's what the people want. Oh.
Sorry.
Huh? Did I say something wrong? I'm sorry. Is he... I think one of two things is possible. I think it's either like... He's remembering Teruya / the last killing game the longer he's in this one. Or he's a void, and he's getting, like, void memories, seeing the voids talk. I think both are decently plausible options. If Yuki is a void, I don't think he remembers being... No, but he'd have to, because... There's 5 void members, and we know 3 of them. And in that CG at the start of the chapter, it was Mikado and 3 others, so there's no way he couldn't know. Because they were all there. Okay. So, never mind, I take that theory back. Somewhat. At least it's far less probable. Looks like a few people are still a bit shaken. It's understandable, though.
I promise it.
Staying positive will pay off in the long run, I promise you. So, for now, let's bear this hardship together. I really do try and match the English voice actors on the rest of the cast, but Teruya is gonna be the voice I gave him in Danganronpa Another One. I'm not even trying to match it on that one.
Come on.
Okay, let's go up, Kanade. This isn't how Hibiki's supposed to be.
Hey, Kanade.
What are you doing, Kanade? Are you gonna keep your big sis waiting? Let's go, come on.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, big sis. I'm coming. Our moment of delight was cut short by Nikkei, followed by a few others that looked tense and uneasy. Once again, our bonds had been pushed to the limit with Kokoro and Emma's deaths. How would this affect our group? Only time would tell. Man, I'm back on my, because I was so confident the next victim would be a woman because I didn't think they'd kill 3 guys in a row. But now that the gender ratio's balanced again, I can't use that to help my predictions. Ah well. Although we were all worried about the same problem, none chose to verbalize it. And we finally decided to get rest for the day. It's the night after the second class trial. We'd all unanimously agreed to decide what to do tomorrow, after some sleep. Emma. Void. We don't have any clues about them. What is their objective? For what reason did they come up with a plan like this and carry it out? Continuously turning over in my mind questions I could never understand, I descended into the abyss of the night. We're so cooked next chapter too, because it's chapter 3, which means a double murder! Means a double murder! An ocean of sleep. Yes. We have to be more careful from now on. I'll do my best to look for that thing you told me about. Be careful. Act normal in Void. And don't let them find out. Act normal in Void? Do we have a double agent? Perhaps? Yes, I know.
Just count on Big Sis for everything.
Setsuka! Okay. Looks like she's gonna be relevant next chapter. Man, we lost 2 divas this chapter. Banger. Absolutely fire. Yippee. Yes, I would like to save. Thank you. Yes, I know I've reached the end of the chapter. Thank you. Please load the save you just made. Thank you for your infinite amount of patience. Yes, it was very fun. Is the game still in here? Okay, I'm gonna need to switch back to the non-dubbed version. I'll figure that out next time. But anyway, that's the end of the dub, unfortunately. let's move over to chatting. Oh, no, we gotta do the tier list. Silly me. How could I possibly have even considered forgetting to do the tier list? Alright. Alright, let's see what we're working with here. Kokoro. Honestly, Kokoro the goat. She can go a little higher. Actually, she's gonna join the girlies in low A. I actually like her more than Sora, actually. Honestly, she might be my second favorite right now. I really like Kokoro. Emma's definitely moving up. That plan was baller. No, I still like Teruya more. Yeah, I'm good with this. Yeah. Do I feel good about this? Yeah, I think I feel good about this for now. I'll let it sit a little bit, but I think this is where I'm at. I think this is where I'm at for now. This is good. Yeah. This is a fun... I like this cast a lot. They all, for the most part, feel pretty strong characters. Yeah, this is good. This is very good stuff. I do the tier list, like... Excuse me. At least for Danganronpa games, I do it at the end of every daily life, and I do it at the end of every chapter. So, that's how often I update it. Yeah, I'm pretty good with this for now. We'll see how things end up in chapter 3 later. We'll move over here. But yeah, okay, so my usual obligation on Wednesdays is not happening this week. It's usually I play Dungeons & Dragons, but we had to reschedule, so I have my Wednesdays actually available this week, which means I can do an extra stream, which is exciting. So we're gonna go and try to do chapter 3, daily life tomorrow, and trial / whatever on Wednesday. If it ends up being exorbitantly long, like for example chapter 2's daily life is, then we might not actually finish chapter 3, so I don't want to like promise that. But that's the concept of a plan. This trial was not as long as I thought it was, which is nice, because I was worried this trial was going to be super long, since Danganronpa Another One's trial was incredibly long. But this one was good. This one was short and sweet, which I liked, so it was good. But yeah, that's the plan at least. Let's do our community board shout outs. Here. We got Mikey in 3rd, Non-Triangle in 2nd, and IAAR Poti in 1st. Thank you all very much for coming and chatting. Love to see it. But yeah, I hope everyone is able to join me same time tomorrow to start chapter 3. Until then, I hope you all have a very good rest of your night and a good start to your Tuesday. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye!